up, Woodward. We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid.
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener. Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm. Because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, dope people? It's another victory show. It's another series win for those Detroit Tigers. It's Wake Up Woodward and Chat family. We appreciate you all for being here and supporting us this morning. Let's run up those likes on a Friday show. Shout out to our brother Flannel Sam, getting the day off today. Works hard enough, man. And we got that dude Justin on the desk for him. Bro, we all came in on some energy this morning. How you feeling?
Let's go!
Let's go!
Fired up! I'm
Fired
so
up,
excited
man.
to be here. We've got a lot of stuff planned. I'm just so excited. I'm ready to go, Kool-Aid. Just dive right into it.
I'm pumped up, man, because you know what? Those Detroit Tigers, 4-1 over the Baltimore Orioles. We all predicted and believed and all knew this is just going to be another series win for those Tigers. I was hoping for a little bit of a sweep.
BTA,
but you know what?
baby.
You can't get too greedy, man. We got a lot that we can eat here in Detroit, like Buddy's Pizza for lunch. Or show up to Nemo's tonight. Show up to Nemo's tonight for the White Claw Tigers Watch Party Tour hosted by the heavyweights, man, and so we can see another dub by those Detroit Tigers. But you know what? This thing was so gritty. Starting off with the dominance of Tarek Skubal, and I know we're going to talk a lot more about this game, but I want to tell you guys what else is on the docket. All right, the Tigers are also ESPN's #1 team in the majors for a second straight week on their power rankings. I will definitely give that some time. But Breakfast Ball via Fox Sports. You know, shout out to Mark Schlareth and his crew over there, Craig Carton. These guys had a lot to say about the Lions, and you know what? Craig does not believe in the Detroit Lions. He does not expect that they're going to maintain their pace, and he believes that they're going to take a big step back. And you know who else he doesn't believe in? John Morton. We're going to hear from him. We're going to TLB today. And you know what? We also got a little bit of Justin's college football preview, because we do got a couple college shows that are going to be coming to the network, and I can't wait for it. Justin, I can't wait, man. I know who you've already asked and who you want to be on this show, and I'm telling you guys, you want to stay tapped in for college season, both basketball and football. But T-Foss put something on my radar, and I don't think he understands. The legend T-Foss is in the building for today's show. I don't think he understands how they aligned. They talked about the Lions' schedule, and they said that they only see 2 guaranteed wins. 2 guaranteed wins on the whole schedule. Then they were like, no, I guess 3 if you include the Giants. We're going to get there. But T-Foss showed that Delta Airlines has expanded the service up to 5 Detroit Lions road games this year. We got to talk about which one is the most desirable and which ones are the most guaranteed victories, man. But Detroit Tigers, man, another victory. And this thing is spurred on by the dominance of Skubal and some gritty, ratty players, as T-Foss likes to call them, that dude, Justin.
No doubt. And you saw the entire contribution offensively from the bottom half of your lineup. You saw 0 for 3, 0 for 4, 0 for 2, 0 for 3, and 0 for 4 from Keith, Torres, Green, Torkelson, and Carpenter. That is insane that you still went out there and you scored 4 runs to win a game that you were struggling in.
And 7 hits.
Yes, 7 hits, 2 home runs. The big swing always is the difference maker. And then Tarek Skubal goes out, does what Tarek Skubal does, has a great performance. Didn't put up the strikeout numbers we're accustomed to, but he still was paid in corners and was very efficient all night. 7 innings of work with Canely and Vest to come in and shut it down. I mean, you can't write it any better than that.
You can't.
I think the Tigers, when Skubal is pitching, the Tigers could win games without bats. They just show up and maybe they get a few walks, push across 1 run. He's not going to give up anything. Yeah,
and it's amazing that Skubal has just adapted to the pressure of realizing I'm probably not going to get any runs, so let me just continue to go out there and ramp it up, because what I liked about Skubal, 0 runs last night, and that brings that ERA. He's at 1.99 on the season. He's under 2 ERA on the year. And it just continues to show not just the dominance, but the brilliance of Tarek Skubal. I look at him as a pitcher who is fastly becoming feared in this league, because he's a guy that goes out there pretty fearless. He's messing with people. He's edgy. And when you got the talent to back it up, he's just becoming quickly one of those figures I am hoping. I wore the Batman shirt for Tarek Skubal because it's just like brute dominance to me, man. So shout out to Scoobs on the mound. But who are some of them those gritty players that you want to shout out today? Because we're gonna have to get to them because T. Foss brought up something cool about those Detroit Rats.
Well,
you want to tell people first, T. Foss, what Detroit Rat means, and then
I want
Justin's gonna tell us who
I
was that in
want
this game.
Pistons somehow to get this rat on their roster, and that's Alex Caruso. This is the dude. He's not really talented, but he can hit outside shots. I saw him defending Karl Anthony Towns. He's a pain in the ass. You don't want to deal with this dude, little white ball-headed dude. You think, what can he do? But I wanted to poll you guys about the Detroit Rats, guys that have just been a pain in the ass. Maybe not the most talented person on their team, but there's been a bunch of them. And
You tell me we saved this for the show that Flannel's off.
Lindsey Hunter, who's been on this network. Lindsey Hunter was a rat. I mean,
I agree with that one.
He got in people's case, and he was defended. He was full of energy. He was supposed to be the next Isaiah Thomas. That did not work out, but he became a rat.
I actually agree with that, and I can't wait to get to that. Who are your Rats from last night's game? And then we'll get into those Detroit Rats. And chat family, I want you to put your Detroit Rats, whether it's current. I want your current ones. I want the ones from history. Let us know, because I was sitting here thinking, like, all right, who are the Detroit Rats from the Lions? Like,
Now,
who are those
let's
players?
put this up. The rat cannot be a star player. It's
Right.
one of your secondary players who's just a pain in the ass.
Before I get into the Rats, I got to shout out our star because Tarek Skubal in his last 4 starts has 30 innings pitched, 1 earned run, a .29 ERA, 32 strikeouts, 2 walks. Insane.
How do you improve
numbers.
on a Cy Young season?
You do what Tarek Skubal's doing, and you bring even more intensity and more energy and more juice than you brought last year, and that's what Tarek Skubal's doing.
Hey, you know what? Shout out. We got Cavassier Chase in the sound booth. We got JB Smooth, WUW Sports MVP in the TD booth. Hey, Energy of the Tigers. They get another one, man.
Yeah, I mean, they're just doing their thing. Every time, they take a step, it's like 1 step back, but 2 steps forward, instead of the 1 step forward, 2 steps
Chase
back
GPT
for the
in
Tigers,
the
They're putting it together. Guys go down, they still pick them up, it sucks that we don't have Jackson Jobe, but, they still, this team finds a way to compartmentalize. They don't compound on their mistakes. They let the next day, live in the next day, and then they focus on the present, and then they're ready for tomorrow once the next game's, once that game's over with, so.
Definitely, man. And they set themselves up very nicely here. They've gone through a gauntlet of a schedule, and now they get a little bit of a soft, a little bit of go fatten yourself up, handle your business games, and continue to honestly have this buzz throughout the summer build up to it. I think it's going to be a crescendo come the fall and playoff time. But, hey, JB Smooth, what up, though, man? The energy of the Detroit Tigers. It was a ratty performance last night, and I know you're going to have some rats for me because I already see a good one here in the chat, man. I saw Trill and Spill says Alex Anzalone is a rat. But JB Smooth, this Tigers, man, this energy. Another series win, Skubal's dominance on the mound, and the Tigers back to 20 games over 500, man.
I mean, another Tigers win, and you could just feel it's infecting the whole city right now. That the whole city is behind the Tigers, and you're just so happy for them. Especially shout out Skubal once again yesterday. Amazing game. Won some money off of that game as well too. Shout out to Tigers, but man, I'm happy to see this. As far as Rats go, I don't know. I kind of like Alex Anzalone, although I'm not enjoying what he's doing on socials right now. But if you give me some time, I can probably think of another one as well.
Hey, definitely. But, when we talk about these Detroit Rats, especially in the history of these things, that's where my focus instantly went to was who are the ones on the Lions teams? Because there hasn't been a lot of winning, but they've had a lot of gritty players. And on the offensive side of things, I look at players like, Nate Burleson, Golden Tate. It seemed like we had a string of those wide receivers that kind of just fit that bill. They weren't necessarily the stars, but they were here during a time where we had some mild winning. And they were, some major contributors. And then they endeared themselves to the city just the right way.
Yeah, I think that definitely a Lions rat would be CJ DJ. I think that in the time that he was here, that one is an obvious answer.
CJ GJ.
Yeah, I think that
CD dude.
he was mentally taxing on everyone. So I think that is what a rat is in my book. So I would definitely say CJ GJ. I want to say Stefan Tulik as well. I don't think he ever hit the stardom that he was given around this city, but he was a rat. Like, he was annoying to play against.
Stefan Tulik. No more discount double check.
Yeah.
No, it was Steven.
Steven Tulik.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the way he pronounced it.
Yeah,
But it looked like Stefan, but it was Steven.
I appreciate the correction.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, I agree with that one there, man. The Lions, actually, now that I'm thinking about it, they had a lot of those players because they didn't have.
What about, like, Riley Reef and Dominic Raiola?
But you know, here's the tough thing about the Lions. Every time I think about a lion being a rat, they are rats for a while, but then they kind of turn into stars. Like, I think Amon-Ra St. Brown is a rat, but he's sort of a star too. He's one of the top wide receivers, so maybe he doesn't qualify. But the reason I say he's a rat is because it's 3rd and 7. You know he's going to get the ball. The defense knows he's going to get the ball. Everybody in the stands knows he's going to get the ball. And guess what? Complete it, first down. They're going to keep moving on down the field. So that takes grit. That takes a ratty consistency. And here's the thing I can't figure out. The dude looks like a regular guy. He's not big. He's like some guy you see working at Jiffy Lube. But some way, somehow, he does. No. Dude, if you put a shirt on him and put Bob on there, you would say, yeah, this is where he works.
I got a good one here, okay? I got a good one. Correct me if I'm wrong here. Carlos Guillen. Do you guys remember the bat flip?
Oh, yeah.
You guys remember the stare? Him hold it down for his main man, Maglio Ordonez, against Jared Weaver. I wish we had that video. We might have to post that one today, that dude, Justin. Carlos Guillen, to me, was a rat. He was somebody who did not have any fear. He wasn't necessarily your biggest star or your biggest bat in the lineup. He didn't have the most pop. But he seemed to always be just on the edge of ready for the action, man. We used to, me and my cousins, man, about that action, we used to, like, have a ranking of players like that, and I always thought that he was one of those guys after that interaction with Jared Weaver, man. And it was epic. Launched a home run, stared him down, delayed bat flip, skipped up the line, like all of the antics around the bases, and then Weaver absolutely lost his mind. And did Carlos Guillen back down? Not at all, dog. He was ready for it. From the dugout, he walked back out on the field. That was an epic moment for him.
Carlos Guillen was just Guillen was crazy.
He was. He gave off that spark, that energy, and that flair where, like, if you effed with him, he was going to let you know about it. And I think that against Jared Weaver. All
right, fellas, think about this one. Here's a guy the Tigers tried to make a rat like 3 or 4 times, and it didn't work out. Who would that be?
You're not going to say Don Kelly, are you?
No.
Brandon Inge.
What era? Can I have the era? Will you help me out a little bit?
The era could be he was on the roster this year.
Oh, Akil Baddoo.
Correct.
Oh,
His ass, though.
Hey.
They've tried.
Sorry, I love you, Akil Baddoo, but you are the definition of a 4A player.
Well, he could be a rat in Toledo or Erie.
Yep.
But not here.
Hey, I see you over there, intern Ryan. Do you have a Detroit rat 2 or 3?
I just came up with one just because I thought of his strictly because of his playoff performance, and he was the ALCS MVP. What about Delman Young? It seemed like in the playoffs, that guy just like switched a different gear and just was brilliant all the time in the playoffs. And he wasn't a star. Like I feel like I always forgot about this guy until the playoffs happened, and then he just dominated for the Tigers.
I'm kind of wondering if his profile was too big to be a rat. Just a little bit too big.
I was going straight off. I was just going straight off the playoff performances.
You know who was a rat for 1 year for the Lions? Titus Young. Shout out to Titus Young.
Now, wait a minute. Titus Young had mental issues, man. We shouldn't make fun of him.
Let me see.
Fourier. There you go. There's another good one.
Fourier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was for Joseph Fourier. I know there was a lot of people out there who hated him, but I'm seeing Harvey Wallbanger. He says Kirk Maltby, and that also reminds me of our guy here, Darren McCarty.
Yeah, let me rip off a couple of hockey ones for the hockey elite out there. We got obviously D-Mac, Kirk Maltby, Chris Draper, Todd Bertuzzi, Johan Franzen, Thomas Holmstrom. There's not really anyone on the team right now. Sider's getting there, but he's a star. Cronwall, that's a good one.
Red Wings got him.
Yeah, that was how that team was built in that era. So, that they're trying. They're really trying. But
it used to be a rat team.
They used to be. And that's why they used to win so much. And that's why you're seeing Florida win so much. I mean, Florida is literally built like the rattiest team in the entire NHL.
Is that what we're missing here? Because we always say Red Wings spin, please spin. But T. Foster's dropped a straight-up truth bomb. They were still, during that spin era, the rattiest team.
Yes, that's what they're trying to do. They're bringing in big physical players at the offensive and defensive end, and they're trying to get back to that. But it's hard in this current state of the NHL because you can't just be big and physical. You need to be big, physical, and skilled, and be able to score. It's just a different game, and now it's become even more difficult to build teams like how the Red Wings and the Panthers are built.
Hey, you know what? Shout out Dante151. I'm about to go over to Kavase Chase after I read a few from the chat here. He says, past Lions, Rat, Golden Tate. Current Lions, Rat, I would say Kirby Joseph. Can we say Kirby anymore?
Can you say Kirby?
He is elevated. All pro,
the best
star,
safety in the
best
NFL.
safety, highest paid now.
He's the best safety in the NFL. I can't.
Last year you could say.
He's making too much money. He's too high profile. You know, in the grand sense of thing, yeah, he's ratty, but he's just too. Like I said, when I think about rats on the Lions, they've all evolved into stars. And so, therefore,
Rodrigo's a rat.
Rodrigo's a
That's a
rat.
good one. That's a really good one. That's a good one. I see Mitten Maid. He knows the way to Kool-Aid's heart. You guys will notice a theme with these players that he mentioned.
What about Isaiah Stewart?
Mike
How have we not
Curry.
said Isaiah Stewart yet? I'm sorry.
Isaiah Stewart is
I'm sorry
one.
to cut you off.
No,
but
that dude Justin knows the way to Detroit Kool-Aid's heart.
Yeah.
Isaiah Stewart is definitely one. Mitten Maid says Mike Curry, Cliff Robinson, and one of my favorites, one of the most underrated Pistons of all time, T-Foss, Joko Rabracha.
yeah, but he was really talented, though.
He was talented.
He was. I mean, the dude could play for real.
He was really good. Mitten Maid also says for the Lions, Jeff Garcia. How do you feel? Look at Justin's face, dog.
No. Dudes have to be able to play a little bit.
Yeah.
Have to have some talent.
Thank you, T-Foss.
They can't
You
be
know
a
what?
total
Big Con
scrub.
51 got it. Corliss Williamson, #1 Detroit Rat. Corliss Williamson, the Big Nasty. His nickname was literally the Big
Yeah.
Nasty.
Yeah.
Every time he got in, you knew it. It was back to the basket buckets. Shout out to Corliss Williamson. Hey, Cavassier Chase, what up, though, over there? Got
Hey,
some
what up,
Detroit
though?
Rats for us? Or any of your Rats? Because I know that you're into a lot, man, especially with the racing. And generally, that's not necessarily tied straight to Detroit, but I'm intrigued by what Chase GPT got for us.
Yes.
I feel like you guys rattled off a lot of like really ratty people. I know, like, shout out to D-Mac's favorite driver, Kyle Busch. I wouldn't necessarily call him like ratty, but his nickname is Rowdy.
He's too good.
But well, I mean, that's the thing. Like, you guys are saying like you like someone's too good. Brad Marchand's been known as a rat for
that's
like
true.
almost his whole career, and he's always been a really talented and skilled player when he was with Boston, and even though he's playing third line now in Florida. So I don't think like someone's skill is should be any like type of like barrier to entry for being considered a rat. I think like you can be real. I think like Ndamukong Suh I think was really ratty, even though he's like a very dominant player in the middle line. Just because I think that's more or less like personality characteristic, not necessarily like a referendum of like your skill level.
Yeah,
But the
I
rat
know,
is sort
'cause
of
he
like
was
the
a bully.
underdog too.
What was
It's
that?
like he's like the underdog. It's like he's only on this team because he's a rat. And he's not a star.
Yeah, I think it can be applied multiple ways, though, T-Foss. I think that you can have, like, that rat who's a gritty and survive, but I also think you can have, like, the king rat who just is, like, you know, I don't know, I'm imagining, like, that scene in, like, Too Fast, Too Furious where they put the rat on the fat guy's stomach and they, like, burn the bucket. Like, that rat's, like...
He only has one way to go.
That's
Well,
like a
I was talking to
tough-ass
Joe
rat.
Lewis over here, and he brought
Joe
up a good
Lewis.
name of a guy who was a rat, but he's too high profile. He's in the Basketball Hall of Fame, like Dennis Rodman.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't. He's a rat, but I wouldn't call him a rat because he's in the Hall of Fame.
What about Bill Lambier and OG Rat? That's from What Up Though with Detroit Gunny.
He was. He was a rat and an ass.
Kyle Vandenbosch from Steve DeYoung. Louis Delmas. Shout out.
Rick
Austin
Mahorn.
Jackson.
DeAndre Levy. Austin Jackson. I actually like that one a lot. That's a good one there.
Oh, what about
Yeah, and
Antonio
just-
McDice?
You know what? Would you do that one, T-Foss?
What?
Antonio McDice, JB Smooth said that? At that
Yes.
stage, yes. His knees was
Yeah,
shot.
he was walking around on toothpicks.
Steve DeYoung puts in all caps, Jason Hansen.
Oh, you talking about the best lion?
I don't
in
know,
history,
man.
besides Barry Sanders,
That guy 62 says the mule, Don Muleback. Dirty Dr. D, he gives another tip of the cap to Lindsey Hunter. Joseph Campbell says he agrees with Big Nasty. Just Dirt, you got a sense of humor, says Chris Shelton. Goodness gracious.
And by the way, in the beginning of the segment, we did say we were trying to exclude star players. That's why we're going for this mid-tier right here. Like, that was the point of the segment, is to give some love to some of the underrated rats in the Detroit sports history that don't get as much credit as, you know, the bigger rats in history, like the Dennis Rodman.
Don Muhlbach.
That's one, man. And Phil says D-Mac is king rat.
I
actually like that
he
one a lot.
probably is. He probably
when
is.
ChatGPT dropped out there. I like that one. And you know what? ADIS411, thank you for this one. And I got to meet this guy at All-Star Weekend. He was down there getting content for his podcast. He came over and talked to Kay Cunningham, and I kept looking over like, yo, does nobody know who this dude is? But ADIS said it. Jerome Junkyard Dog Williams. You talk about a guy from one of the forgettable eras in Detroit Pistons history, and he played each and every game like he was trying to win a championship, T-False.
No, it was like when he got on the court, it's like, you know what? This is the last game I'm ever going to play in the NBA, and that's the way he played.
That's dog.
He didn't score a lot. He didn't rebound a lot, but he rebounded enough. He was scrappy enough, and he just was an annoyance.
Man, you know what, man? This has been fun. I'm about to get to this next segment, so we got to say what up, though, to some friends. I see Dan Campbell from Bitcoin 51. Stephen Baffy says Javid Best. Future in Detroit says Brett Perriman. Yo, we got a lot of good ones. This 411 with some more.
Oh, yeah, me and Brett
Down
Perriman
Reed
almost
and
got into a
Ratliff.
fight.
What?
So, yeah, we almost got into a fight.
Yeah,
Dan
T-False is telling me
Skipper,
about
Dan
that.
Skipper got a vote. Now, what are you saying, T-False?
Please
before we go to break?
elaborate.
No. Hold it. What friends we got to say what up, dog, to? T-False, you got to tell me about this fight after the break, man.
Okay.
Hit that like button, people. Snap.
Les Stanford.
Tom Belegian and Sam Flannel both got votes.
What?
That's crazy.
Les Stanford?
Yeah, Les Stanford. Who has Les Stanford?
Generally Flannel.
Yeah, let me tell you about Les Stanford. Les Stanford Chevrolet is one of the best dealers in all of the state of Michigan with some of the top deals. They have the 2025 Sierra at $169 per month, the 2025 Hummer EV SUV for $699 a month, or the 2025 Envision for $259 a month, and they make it clean, cut, easy. You get in there, you meet with your sales rep, they will get it done for you, and you're out the same day. So you scan that QR code and go hit up Les Stanford for a new car.
Big injuries, big news. Twice a week, Dr. Jeff Pierce from Michigan Sports and Spine joins Woodward Sports Network for the Injury Insider Report. Big D Energy Tuesdays at noon, and Ermanni and Edwards with Maz Thursdays at 3:30. Get expert analysis and in-depth breakdowns on the latest sports injuries from the man trusted by top athletes in the community, like D-Mac. Whether it's the Lions, Pistons, Tigers, or Red Wings, Dr. Pierce talks us through it all. Don't miss the Injury Insider Report with Dr. Jeff Pierce, your go-to source for understanding the impact of injuries on the games and players we love. Only on Woodward Sports Network. Scan the QR code on the screen or go to MichiganSportsandSpine.com to see if Dr. Jeff Pierce can help you.
It's part beauty, part beast. It's for those who dare to be different, for those who want to stand out, and for those who are built for more. The all-new Ineos Grenadier combines strength and style for an unmatched driving experience. Sold exclusively at Feldman Ineos of Waterford.
No one gives away more cash and prizes than Woodward Sports. You don't believe us? Here's our latest $10,000 winner.
you guys posted, hey, if you guess all this stuff right, we'll give it's $10,000. I'm like, okay, well, why the hell not?
And the winning doesn't stop there. How about our Outkick Your Coverage winner?
Let's give it up for David Tully, everybody. David Tully. This guy's got a hot girl.
Bigger prizes, bigger giveaways, cash, merch, tickets, and more. All from the biggest sports network in Detroit. No one does it bigger and better than Woodward Sports. Make sure you're following, liking, subscribing on Instagram, Facebook, X, and YouTube for your chances to share in the winning. From Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey guys, Chase here to talk to you about Mad Packs. Mad Packs is the hottest new cannabis brand, and they have partnered with us here at Woodward Sports as they've launched their new products this past May, available in select retailers near you. They got the high-low, getting you high for the low, delivering top-tier quality, unbeatable prices. And check this out, Kool-Aid. You got the Boom Shakalaka.
Boom Shakalaka.
The Boom Shakalaka is the new live
Let's go.
resin-infused tarantula, and this one is the bomb. They got blizzard packs, THCA, moon rocks that hit like a blizzard. Stay tuned with us here at Woodward Sports for more details.
Hey, and we are back. It is Wake Up Woodward. And T-Foss, you said you got into a fight with somebody? Just almost.
T-Foss, you
Brett
can't be scrapping
Perriman.
out
All
here
right,
with everybody.
hold that real quick, because we got some more Detroit rides here. I want to read these, and I want to hear that story from you. But Austin Osgood says Dan Skipper never knows if he's going to pass block, run block, or catch a pass. I actually agree with that. What up, though, with Detroit? Gunny says Joey Culture. I'm seeing a lot here. Andre Ware from Chinavirus, Jason Maxill from Big Con 51, Christian Mahogany from 15 and 2 Lions. DNC says Ron Holland won't be King Rat, but possibly Prince Rat. Ron Holland is a current Rat. That's somebody we left out of the Rat conversation. Mike James, just in case, who was the backcourt mate off the bench with Lindsey Hunter, another Detroit Rat. Nate Burleson. It's dope to see all of these pouring in. So shout out to the chat family, who is absolutely on fire. I agree. And you know what, Tabitha Gable? We forgot one of our own, Joyke Bell.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Joyke Bell.
Wayne State, the pride of Wayne State.
Pride of Wayne State.
You ever see him play in college?
Yeah.
This dude, every play was off tackle. It was 4 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards. They just kept marching up the field, and that was rat-like stuff.
That was rat-like stuff. No. Tell me about this this rat-like fight you said.
Oh yeah, with Brett
Perriman.
And Brett Perriman is a rat. But anyway, Brett Perriman always wanted the ball. You know how receivers are. He's a little short guy. So anyway, I was in the locker room. He said, "Man, you should write a column that I should get the ball more." So I usually don't do this, but
he told you this?
Yeah. I interviewed him, and remember, at the time, there was a little guy named Barry Sanders on the team, and then Herman Moore. So Brett was like, I should be getting the ball more. I want it. So I wrote a column and said, hey, look at Brett Perriman. He's been playing well. Give him the ball a little bit. So anyway, the next game is at Tampa. So we go down there. The Lions have the ball. They're trailing by like 4 points. They have the ball. They give it to Brett Perriman, and he fumbled. And Tampa kept the ball and won the game. So afterward, there were some Lion fans down there. See, Lion fans used to travel back then too. But at the time, they were there's this overhang over where the players went into the locker room. So they were throwing vegetables at the Lion players because they were pissed.
Vegetables?
Vegetables. Like cabbage, tomatoes.
Fair, bro.
I didn't see any onions, but I'm sure there was some onions in there. So anyway, I wrote a column and said, angry Lion fans stood on the second deck throwing vegetables at the Lion players. But then my line, which pissed him off, I said, most of those vegetables should have been directed at Brett Perriman, who fumbled at the end of the game. So anyway, we come back and go to the locker room, and it's like a couple days later.
Yeah.
And Brett said, I didn't appreciate that column, that bullshit you wrote about me. I'm like, dude, you wanted the ball. I advocated for you having the ball. You got it, and you fumbled.
And then you fumbled.
Yeah, so then he said,
bro, I don't appreciate you fumbling.
Right. And then he said, man, I should kick your ass right now. I said, let's go.
So
So then we were, we had a little fist. Then he said, I'm gonna bring my boys from Miami to come up here and beat your ass.
Hold on, wait. So he challenged you to the fisticuffs,
right? But
then
he's gonna bring.
I'm gonna get my boys. When you said,
you gonna get his boys from Miami, I said,
remember T. Foster.
You know what I said? I said, bring them, because I'm gonna get my boys from Detroit to kick your boys from Miami's ass. Now, who do I have more faith in? The Miami people or Detroit?
Tell me, bro.
I said, dude, that's a
I
fight
already know
you
the
can't
chat
win.
knows what's up.
So we motherfucked each other for that day and everything, and then like 2 days later, he's like, "What's up, bro?" He said, "We all cool." So that was it.
That's two lions. They look each other in the face, and then you earn each other's respect, man.
Yeah,
Shout
I
out
used to get in
T.
trouble
Foss.
all the time with that team.
T. Foss, man, you a Detroit, right? Maybe you're a star too, but you got that. you more that definition that Cavassier was talking about, man. I like that, man.
I grew up with rats, so
listen.
I like real ones.
Justin K said T. Foss stood on business. Mike G, Uncle Terry, who wins an Oklahoma drill, you or Wojo? Hey, come on. Let me see here. He said Terry said second deck. Hey, they love the story, man. They like powered up T. Foss, man. I'm seeing a couple more Detroit rats here. Prince Fielder from Dante151, Johnny Morton from Joseph Campbell.
All right, hey, stop.
Ray
You
Crockett.
can't say Prince Fielder for this one reason. When he got into a slump and the media pointed out to him that you're not hitting the ball like you should, what was his response? Well, I got kids. It's all about you can't be a rat if you're going to bring the kids into it.
You definitely can't call Prince Fielder a rat, but I kind of slipped with it. You can definitely call Avisail Garcia a rat.
You know what? Yeah. Yep. I had some reserves about Prince Fielder as well. Benny Blades from your favorite uncle.
Hey, shout
Corey
out to
Schlesinger.
Benny was crazy too, man.
Yep, Corey Schlesinger from Dirty Dr. D. Hey, these are some good ones. And Stephen Boyd from your favorite uncle. These are definitely Luther Ellis. These are rats, man. The Lions, they definitely got them. And talking about the Lions, Breakfast Ball via Fox Sports had a lot to say about the Detroit Lions. Mr. Craig from their panel, he doesn't quite believe in what the Detroit Lions will be in. We're going to get there just after this. Do you have at least what the ESPN Power Rankings were for the Tigers?
Yeah.
Just before we move on. And then after that, I'm curious about what you guys think about his comments. T. Foss, we'll see if we can get you in on it. And if not, we'll definitely let you know the gist of it.
All right, beautiful.
But here you go. Detroit Tigers sitting at number 1. Hey, JB Smooth, do you mind reading that off for the people?
Yeah, I got you. Zach McKinstry has been a crucial part of Detroit's improved offense, hitting .275, .362, and .436, while leading the team's position players with a 1.6 WARP and tied for the AL lead with 7 triples. He has started games at 5 different positions, Jesus, and hit well in high leverage situations as well. McKinstry entered 2025 with a career OPS plus of 77, including just 74 last season when he hit .215, .277, and .337. So we'll see if he can keep it up, but manager AJ Hinch has been starting him nearly every game of late, including against left-handers.
Hey, and I see people in the chat already. I saw the Zach attack from What Up Though with Detroit Gunny. I wanted to put that up there kind of at the tail end of the Detroit Rats conversation because talk about Zach McKinstry and everything he's done to be able to contribute to what we see out of the Detroit Tigers to the point that ESPN is confident in them. When you talk about the power rankings, you look at some of the other teams that you would normally believe ESPN would be fawning over, but we see the Tigers win last night. We see how they won a lot of games, and though they do have some stars, it's been really because of a lot of Detroit Rats, Justin.
Yeah, I think that it really has been, especially they shouted out Zach McKinstry, who deservingly deserves some flowers. And he was struggling a little bit in May. He dropped his OPS down in that month to 626, but then he's brought it back up to 966 to start June, and that's following the 909 that he had in April. So I think that he's really – this is his level. I don't think that he's a guy who you're going to see a massive slump and a massive dive bomb the way that Javi kind of has in the last month or so, because he's consistently shown that he can bounce in and, to bounce in and out of the slumps and still be that nice positional rotation guy that we need in the bottom of our lineup. I mean, look at leading the team in WAR, Zach McKinstry. If you'd have told me that in the beginning of the year, I would have called you insane.
That's insane.
I would have said there's probably at least 3 or 4 players that I would for surely take over his WAR, but it's baseball. This is baseball. This is the whack nuances of baseball, and I think that Zach McKinstry has just been an absolute huge part of the Tigers' success, and probably something that only Scott Harris and AJ Hinch thought that they could get out of them.
Hey,
aren't the Tigers just a bunch of rat bastards?
Yes.
I mean, you look at who's the superstar? Tarek Skubal and who else? Nobody.
If you're saying superstar,
Only
I think it's
Tarek
just Skubal.
That's it.
Yep.
But the other thing, I keep looking at the guys and say, this dude's in a slump, this guy's in a slump. But if you don't look at the stats, you don't notice that because they keep winning.
Yep.
They say all these players are falling back to earth. The Tigers as a team or not.
They're not at all. That's the thing. We've covered this. Whether the Stars have been off to their best or not, this team has continued, as we see, to be at a pace of one of the best teams in all of baseball and clearly the best team in the AL. You know, the Yankees are the team just behind them, but when they played the Yankees, they punched them in the nose too. It didn't even look like a fair matchup. That looked like a handle your business series. And I thought we were going to get one of those matchups like we kind of saw with the Cubs, one of those matchups that we've seen the Tigers playing recently against some of these better teams. But they went in there and they folded the Yankees.
Yeah, but you know what? Do you know what the Yankees say every time they see the Tigers in the playoffs?
What up?
They're scared.
They're scared.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Shout out Kendrick Lamar.
Not these rats again. Yeah.
And
they're always a favorite to beat them. The Yankees are going to sweep. They're going to sweep, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't happen.
I feel like the Tigers are Pacers built. And by that I mean built for the postseason. I'm just looking at their bullpen. You look at their starters. You look at their depth. You look at the bats. You look at the fact that they don't have to necessarily rely on just one individual in either one of these aspects, from pitching to bullpen or to the bats. And when you look at the Pacers, it's a well-built team of ratty individuals. You got maybe one star. You can't even say superstar. You got one all-star on that team, effectively. So that's when I look at what the Tigers are right now. I see some similarities as it relates to some of the toughness, the grittiness.
Be careful what you say about the Pacers, because one of them might be a Piston next year.
You know what? I've been hearing it. That's why I'm being a little bit nicer to the Pacers as of late. I've been hearing some rumors and some intrigue and some interest, man.
Be careful.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You don't want to insult somebody that's going to be your boy next year. So
you know what? Golly, you're right. Be sitting right there in the practice like, hey, dude, that I was bashing for the last 3 years just because I hate your team from when I was a child. How you doing? Welcome to Detroit. You're right on that one. Rod told me that too. He was like, hey, let's watch how we talk about some of these players. I was like, you know what? You're exactly right. But you know what? The Tigers, shout out to Zach McKinstry. Shout out to the Tigers. Shout out to the fact that you're right. They're a well-built team full of gritty players, and they remind me of that Pacers team. I don't know how many people are really taking them serious for a World Series. I think a lot of people are definitely tipping their cap that they're a good team. But when I look at the Detroit Tigers, I'm taking them serious as a World Series team. That's what fired me up about Scott Harris's comments, which we will break down when Flannel Sam gets back, when he stated effectively what Brad Holmes said. What era did the Lions enter last year? He stated it. We're here to win Super Bowls, try to win Super Bowls right now and for the long term. What does Scott Harris echo in his comments? And I saw this via the Detroit Free Press. He said, we're trying to win the World Series this year. We believe we are well positioned right now. And he did say that it's going to spur him at the trade deadline to do something. And then he also said, but we also want to make sure we are set up to win a World Series beyond this year. So shout out to Scott Harris for standing on business, too. He sounded like T. Foss standing on business up to Brett Perriman.
Right. And the Tigers, these are young dudes, too.
Yeah.
I mean, they're making like below league average. So they just a bunch of fighters. So this could go on for a long time. You know, there's only one reason why some people are not making the Tigers World Series contenders. You know why?
Tell me.
They've been off the radar for so long. They're like, well, they just can't turn it around. Well, the Tigers had their, shall we say, come up its last year. They made the playoffs when they weren't supposed to. They won a playoff series when they weren't supposed to. They're up 2-1, one game away from advancing to the championship series when they weren't supposed to. So they got their grit, and they've got their anger. They got their hurt built in. So, yes, they are World Series contenders.
Yo, T-Foss, you've been really the prophet. You've been the one who said, you know what, Lions about to get this thing kicked off. You know what, Pistons about to get this thing kicked off. And now you're saying that the Tigers are World Series contenders. It makes me feel like you might be a whole lot more right than wrong. You've seen this for years, and you're still right in the landscape of all of Detroit sports. And it makes me very fired up for this because we see a lot of the same identity, some of the same DNA traits that's been, associated with some of our great past teams. It's right here. And you're right, a team full of just gritty players. That's what you said about the old Red Wings, a team full of gritty players. We see it right now with the Tigers, and it spurred them on with their mix of all-stars to be one of, if not the best team in all of baseball. And I do think, chat family, that does deserve a like. If you haven't hit that like button, go ahead and hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. I think I'm going to go to you, that dude, Justin, and we'll take a quick one, and we'll come back to some TLB.
Yeah, I just want to address some of these comments about Javi in here.
Hey, let's go.
Just real quick, the reason that
I gotta
Javi's
address you on
struggling
something,
is
too.
because he's not taking as many pitches and having as good of at-bats as he was having earlier in the season. So that's something that I would like to see him take some more pitches, get some more walks, which is very hard to ask Javi to do. But his difference in his OPS to his OBP has, dropped in half, which means he's walking at half the rate. So I'd like to see a little bit more of a selective Javi. I know that he got a little aggressive and the slugging percentage went up with the 5 home runs last month, but he still needs to stay as that singles, doubles guy where he's really just a contributing factor in the bottom of the lineup.
You know what's happened with Javi Baez? It's what my grandmother calls smelling your oats. And that means you think you got it all figured out. You think you're big and bad, but you're not.
Yep.
So basically what he needs to go back to the basics. What got him here? Now, he's probably feeling so confident, I can swing at anything now. But you can't. You got to go back to square one. You got to you're not Chicago Cubs Javi Baez. You're Detroit Tiger Javi Baez, a team that's saying control the strike zone. You listened and you followed, but then you got so good, it's like, I don't need to figure that. I don't need to do that anymore because I'm really good. No, you're smelling your oats. Go back to square one, and Baez can be another contributor again.
I like that, actually, man. And sometimes I wonder how much just kind of giving these guys a break, especially the ones who have gone from relative obscurity and fans wanting them gone over the last couple years to now they've been some of the major contributors to the Detroit Tigers being one of the best teams in all of baseball. Sometimes I do believe just give those guys a week off. Give those guys just a break, especially a guy like a Javi who is there a lot of pressure mounting to continue to be that guy that you were. You feel like, hey, I got it back. Everybody was talking about him, national media, local media. Might be pressing just a little bit as teams are adjusting to whatever he's figured out in that batter's box. So you guys are preaching, and I see the chat family that like what you guys have had to say, Justin and T-Foss, about that. And let me see here. Kool-Aid. This is from Steve-O Baby. Can you ask Terry Foster what means more to the Tigers before the trade deadline? People won't shut up about getting an arm to help the bullpen, and I think we need another batter. It's interesting, though, because you got Reese Olson now who's out for the year, which is going to potentially affect what your playoff depth can be. So if you're talking about the playoffs, I do believe they need another arm, but we'll never see her say another bat doesn't help.
No, they both do help, and you can – I go 6 of one, half dozen the other, but teams who are serious about winning a World Series always make a move during the season.
Yep.
They always add something. So the Tigers, if they stand pat, that means they're not serious about this.
Sheesh.
If they get a bat or if they get another bullpen arm, it's them saying, okay, we hear you. Mm-hmm. We're looking ahead because the playoffs are different than the regular season. The playoffs, all you do is face good pitching. Now you're facing dudes with 8 ERAs, so now and then you get a break. You don't get a break during the playoffs, and the real good teams know that's the case, so they plan for that. So I think the Tigers are this. If Chris Ilitch and the front office, if they do something between now and the trade deadline or add something to this roster, that means they get it. If they don't,
do you believe Scott Harris is vibrato so far? I mean, the things he's done has worked out. He's stating he's going to be active at this deadline to the tune of making sure this team can have what it needs to compete for a World Series. And we hear them say things, but this was the first time that I've actually heard them step out there and state our approach right now is for the World Series. But you've heard this over
I know.
many years.
I always believe Scott Harris. The issue is he going to be allowed to do what he wants to do? And let me. And I'm going to be bad today. I don't give a damn because it's Friday. Y'all,
Friday show.
all of y'all have been bamboozled and hoodwinked by the Tigers from this standpoint. You know Chris Ilitch doesn't want to spend money. But what did he do? He offered Bregman $30 million a year. So now here's what we're saying. Oh, yeah. Those who say Chris Ilitch is not going to spend, shut the fuck up because he's going to. But here's the game he played on you. If Bregman
Stop crushing my dreams, T-Foss.
if he had signed with the Tigers, do you know that payroll would have been 14th?
T-Foss, listen, bro. I was happy. I was happy in my bliss, bro. I took the bait. I saw it.
Right.
I saw the Bregman news. I was like, yo, he's willing to open up the pocketbooks. I'm glad he stood on business as it related to the stipulations. Are you telling me he probably got caught up in the stipulations because he didn't want to pay?
He took Miggy's contract, finally got rid of it, and so he's going to add Bregman in there. So if he was willing to do stuff, let's say the Tigers had the 14th highest payroll now. If he was willing to do something at that point to move it up to 8 or 9, if they needed it, then I would just shut my mouth up and say, hey, my bad. But I'm not buying they're willing to spend now because they were going to give Bregman $30 million. They were willing to move up to the middle of the pack, which they've been all along.
Yeah.
But now they're 18th, so they're willing to move up to 14th. That doesn't convince me.
Sheesh. Well, you know what, man? Most pivotal, trade deadline for the Tigers in a long time. Pistons are facing their most pivotal offseason. They're going to have a couple of those over the next couple of seasons in a long, long time. And it all culminates in the fact that all of our teams now, all of them have playoff expectations. The Ravens better make it next year. I know Justin says
they better. I'm going to crash
he got to crash out planned if they don't. And you know what up, though, with Detroit Gunny says, let T-Foss satisfy the like button today.
Oh.
We'll let you know about that during the break. Hey, look at this. Put the camera on his face right now.
Well, I don't know how to do it, but, whatever.
Before we go to break, though, just to clarify, Job is the one that's out for the year, not Mize. Or not Olsen.
Not Olsen.
Olsen has ring finger inflammation,
Right.
which is why he's not pitching right now. He's on the 15-day IL. So
Thank you for that clarity.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the clarity. Definitely.
chat was very concerned.
Yeah, I fought on that. Thank you for the clarity. I remember I meant to mention some of the players that were injured, but Job is the one who affects the playoff depth. Thank you for that. But, hey, who do we got to say what up, though, to JB Smooth? And then we got a TLB.
We got to say what up, though, to Merch and Planet Fitness. So, over to me first. Head over to woodwardsports.com. All you got to do is click on that shop tab. We are dropping new designs for you every single week. We do have that Ragnow shirt coming very soon, but you got to go and pick up these Woodward Tigers gear that we've got. T-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, everything that you should be wearing down at Comerica Park for those gritty tigs. And you can't forget about the LFG Red Wings t-shirts and hoodies that are still available for you right now. All you got to do is head over to woodwardsports.com and click on that shop tab. And you know what? You can even wear this gear at Planet Fitness. Justin?
Let me tell you about Planet Fitness. And hey, you can rock your merch at Planet Fitness. It's a great way to show off your Detroit sports love. So no matter where you are, there's Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 locations in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training with no extra cost? That's right. Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card. Enjoy the use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card spa featuring hydro massages, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with 2,500 worldwide locations with ultimate guest privileges. So for more information, join today or visit planetfitness.com.
Tired of losing out on the car of your dreams? Bad credit? No credit? At the Feldman Chevrolet Freedom Sale, we say yes. Over 5,000 new Chevys to choose from, all priced to move with our best deals of the year. Get a 2025 Silverado for just $149 a month, or this 2026 Equinox for only $209 a month. When other dealers say no, Feldman Chevrolet says yes. Don't miss the Freedom Sale, going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
As I say, yeah,
The boys of summer are here, and Woodward Sports is all over the Motor City with the White Claw Tigers Tour. Come party with Woodward Sports, watch the Tigers, and sip on some White Claw all summer long. The best bars, big giveaways, live events, and a party that only Woodward Sports can throw. Ain't no party like a Woodward Sports party. Join us Friday, June 13th from 5 to 7 with the heavyweights at Nemo's in Corktown for the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw and Ven Johnson.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you, whole again. VenFights.com.
Oh, my bad, JB. Sorry. It's Massage Chair House. You're looking to upgrade your relaxation game? Check out the Massage Chair House in Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, the largest massage chair showroom in the Midwest with top brands for massage chairs like Infinity and Osaki, located near the corner of Long Lake Road and Woodward. Experience luxury comfort with Dr. Eric Duncan, the Wellness Doc, creator of the top YouTube massage chair review channel. Book a visit at www.massagechairhouse.com or scan the QR code. Massage Chair House, your ticket to ultimate recovery and relaxation.
And while you're enjoying that massage, place some bets with Caesar Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan the QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward1000. Deposit up to $1,000. But all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And you know what? If it doesn't hit, Caesars will throw it right back into your account with no questions asked. Scan the QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward1000 and make some money tonight.
Make some money. It's Wake Up Woodward. Chat family, go ahead and smash that like button if you haven't gotten the opportunity to. I see Matthew Broder in the chat, and that's so appropriate because he is the originator of TLB. You want to tell people what that means?
Talk Lions, bitch. Even though I'm trying to swear in there, I will still do it.
It was one of the greatest.
You know what Broder is?
What?
He's a chat rat.
Chat rat? You know what Broder is? Oh man, we got to figure out who our chat rats are.
Mike G.
Right. That's a pretty good one. Mike G is one.
Mike G.
Dante
Shout out Mike
G.
Shout out Greg.
I have to be mean for a second.
Smalls.
Y'all better press that like button or I'm the hell out of here. I'm not coming back. Press the like button if you want me to come back and deal with these children.
Tabitha
if not,
come on.
Press it, baby, right now.
Bro, he says, I see Woodward Pistons on the desk. Hey, what up, though, brother?
I'm just rattling off.
Hey, rattle off a few more chat rats.
This is off the dome, man. Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. I should open up the chat. But yeah, we said like John F. and Lord, Mike G, Rando Smalls, Tabitha Gable.
Shout out Phil.
Oh, Terrell from FL. Shout out Terrell.
Fan, Dante151.
Eduardo O'Neal.
What up, Doe with Detroit Gunny, Greg. I'm pulling up the chat now, so I can
Crazy
see
Clown.
Yeah, Crazy Clown. Wheezy D 313.
Freddie
Phil.
Yeah.
Everybody who argues with Sam is definitely a chat. Yeah.
That's a good distinction. Shout out to Chase, man. Hey, and you know what? There's some people out there who don't believe that the Lions are going to be very ratty this year. They actually think they're going to take a step back. And I don't know how I feel about it. I have some energy about it, but I've been sitting here like, you know what? I'm trying to be different here. I'm trying to be a changed man. Word to our brother Flannel Sam. But Breakfast Ball, Craig Carton on Breakfast Ball does believe that the Lions are going to take a step back. And he does not believe at all in John Morton based on what he saw out of him in his time with the Jets before. And he really just does not believe in what he did with the Lions previously either. He doesn't believe in this carryover effect. So, JB Smooth, if we got that, this is via Fox Sports, Breakfast Ball. Let's definitely run this one, man. And I want you guys' reaction as well as the chat family, because he believes that the Lions will take a step back.
He's from the Jets. Oh my God, that just makes him an awful coach when he had one of the worst supporting casts when he was a coach at the Jets of the entire NFL. His quarterbacks were Bryce Petty and Josh McCown. The only receiver that you even knew on the roster was Jermaine Kearse. And then you're going to be like, oh, well, the Bears are going to be so good with their brand new coach, second-year quarterback, no proven success in this league. And Jordan Love. Oh, whoop-de-doo, Jordan Love. Oh, what am I even
fired up right now?
I'm not even trying to be a slappy, but when you look at these teams and you're talking about these quarterbacks, they have done nothing in comparison to Jared Goff. None of these coaches in the last 3 years since Dan Campbell has taken over have done nothing. There has been a lock on this division placed on by the Detroit Lions that no one has been able to touch for the last 2 years. And now, as we've also been undefeated against the entire division, now, Ben Johnson, the Lord and Savior, is coming in to preach on Caleb Williams. Honestly, this is utterly ridiculous, the fact that the national media is just pandering right to the Bears, the offseason champions for the last 3 years. We know the narrative. Oh, the Bears, the Bears, the Bears. What have you done for the last 3 years? With Justin Fields. Oh, they're winning the division. They're going to do it. Oh, now they have Caleb Williams. He's going to come in. He's going to be C.J. Stroud. What am I even looking at? Your offensive line still has issues. You still have defensive line issues. Caleb Williams hasn't proved that he can win you games yet. Ben Johnson he's as unproven as a head coach as John Morton is as a coordinator. That's the head coach of the team. What are we talking about?
Hey, guys, can I ask you a question? Why do we get so upset with national morons who don't know what they're talking about?
Because I'm 22 years old and or 23 years old. This is my first real job in media, and I already feel like I'm less of a slappy at 23 years old for the team that I cover than these national media guys who don't even watch these teams play. If you're telling me that you are guaranteeing the Bears are going to be better than the Lions, then you didn't watch football last year because they still have gray hair. They have a brand new head coach. It's just ridiculous. It's an utter disrespect to the profession. I think that these dudes are just speaking not even their truths. They're just BSing, and it's just it's not okay in my book.
It's Ryan. You have the rosters, the offenses that John Morton was gifted with in his previous tenures.
Shout out Flannel. I'm living up to the
Plus, the last time I checked, isn't this Dan Campbell's offense?
Huh?
This is Dan Campbell's offense.
Don't steal the show.
Mark Schlareth,
Schlareth got mad, and we know this. Mark Schlareth understands what goes on behind the scenes here with the Lions. But people are loving what you got right now, that energy, Justin. They loving it. I see Vincent E. Justin is cooking. Broder was like, wait, no, Justin, get him.
Wait.
He got me fired up.
Justin made one mistake. He was trying to do Flannel Sam. Your gums are not bleeding. So that's the only thing you did wrong.
You didn't bang your head on the desk.
No, that's where I exit the highway.
D. Justin
make your gums bleed, and you got it right.
Jay Ratliff said, easy, Flannel. Easy, big fella. Flannel Justin from A-Diz. Intern Ryan, do you got those rosters so we can actually see? Because he does not he says, I just don't like him. Why? Because of his time here, and I know he's a passing coordinator there. Straight dismissiveness as if this guy, Dan Campbell, makes bad decisions. Meanwhile, he's glazing Ben Johnson, who we know about because Dan Campbell. But intern Ryan, what up though, man?
Yeah, what's going on? But I just got the 2017 Jets offense because that's when John Morton was strictly the offensive coordinator. That year, I believe they were 28th in the NFL in total offense. But let's just take a look at who two quarterbacks were for them. Josh McCown and Bryce Petty were their two quarterbacks. Who? McCown played 13 games, or started 13 games, and Bryce Petty started 3 of those games.
You said it's their practice squad roster?
No, this is the real NFL roster.
Oh, my bad.
And then we head over to wide receivers.
Sounds like an XFL team.
This is preseason game 1, right?
No, this is the National Football League regular season in 2017. And then we head over to the running backs and wide receivers. The only two names that I recognize out of anyone here is a 32-year-old Matt Forte and a 27-year-old Jermaine Kearse. And the guy that led the team in that would be receiving yards was Robbie Chosen with 941. I don't even know who that is.
Come on, bro.
And then
you're talking about they use an XFL roster.
JB's.
And then if you want, I can go to the Raiders if you'd like.
Let's go to the Raiders. Let's hear this.
So the Raiders, this was strictly he was just the passing game coordinator from
John Morton was really gifted some offenses. I hear.
Yeah.
Huh?
From 2019 to 2021. He finished 11th, 8th, and 11th in total offense there. That's just the Raiders. Again, he was just the passing game coordinator. But in 2019, he had a rookie Josh Jacobs. Darren Waller was on that team, and then as you sprinkle up, Derek Carr was
still top 12 offenses.
Yeah, that's what it says.
Sheesh.
And then but he was just passing game coordinator. He wasn't total offensive coordinator. And then Derek Carr was the quarterback all 3 years. And then as we go out throughout the years, Hunter Renfrow was sprinkled in there, Henry Ruggs was sprinkled in there, Darren Waller, and then Josh Jacobs. So when he had a National Football League roster, he was able to cook a little bit with it, but you can't just go off the Jets. Josh McCown and Bryce Petty were his quarterbacks. Like I get it. You know, some people might be like, all right, it might be a step back because Ben Johnson did a phenomenal job. But if you look at the Lions now, they still have pieces. They still have a Lamborghini. Morton is going to have to figure out how to drive, and I'm being completely honest, I really hope that we don't have Jameson Williams throwing as many passes as he did last year, especially in the playoffs where he threw a pick against the Commanders.
What up, Justin? Are you okay now?
Yeah, I'm okay now.
Look, you got an epic rant,
the utter
man.
stupidity like that. Oh God! Shout out to Broder. He put this in chat. I think it's
Shout out, Broder.
absolutely hilarious. Let me go find it. That guy last played football in 6th grade and backed up the team manager. So, shout out to Broder.
And I see people as well in the chat who are loving on John Morton too. Charles McClain. Morton has worked with some well-respected offensive coaches like Peyton, Gruden, and Harbaugh, and I'm going to say like Dan Campbell as well. What up, though, T-Foss?
I need to ask a question now because I'm not going to call it Lions hate, but there's a lot of Lions doubt. They're going to take a step back. But what is scaring people the most? Is it the fact they have 2 new coordinators, or is it the retirement of Frank Ragnow? What is scaring you the most?
Ragnow scares me more than the coordinators.
To be honest, I'm almost in that boat. Like I wouldn't even say scared, but if I had to say some concern, I would say probably the Ragnow one.
And I love the fact that they brought in David Shaw as well.
Is that disrespectful to AG and Ben Johnson?
I don't think so. I think that they both were they both were under both of them. Calvin Shepard at least was mentored by Aaron Glenn, so I expect some of the same.
for this position.
Like you say, John Morton laid the groundwork of this offense, so I expect him to come in and not really lose a step in comparison to Ben Johnson. I do think that the bigger question mark is Ragnow. I just think that you're now have a jumbled offensive line, and you're not going to have a guy who can just take one-on-ones with nose tackles. You don't know if you have that anymore.
You know what? A year ago today, do you know what people were saying about Aaron Glenn?
Yes, they were hating on him.
We should fire him.
Fire
I went
him.
on a rant about that, bro.
Get rid of his ass.
Now all of a sudden, we can't survive on defense without him.
Right.
When we added a couple more dogs, T-False, Justin, I agree 100% with that. I just a couple people here are saying Ragnow before I throw it over to intern Ryan. But let me see here. Broder, the key is Morton and David Shaw together. And I'll throw Hank Fraley in there as run game and offensive line coordinator. But there's a lot of people who says Ragnow. Broder, again, great question. ... Ragnow. Eric Allen, Ragnow, and it's not even close. Greg, 2025, Ragnow. What up, though, with Detroit Gunny? I think Ragnow loss is bigger than the coordinator losses. And you know what also has a lot to do with that? Is our belief in Dan Campbell. And just as fired up as you were, I know Mark Schlareth, you could tell his energy when he heard this was like, whoa. You could tell he wanted to get fired up, but he kept himself together and spoke to who Dan Campbell is, because I think he took Craig's comments just as disrespectful to Dan Campbell as I initially did. one of the things we've continued to talk about, especially since it was confirmed by some national media, and there's a difference. There's some national media who are journalists, there's some national media who are former players. The former players who know Dan Campbell, who didn't even play with the Lions, they stepped out and said, whoa, 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 stop with the alarms. This was Dan Campbell's offense from the start. Do you guys understand who he got this offense from? It's not even just disrespectful to Dan Campbell, but it's disrespectful to Sean Payton and Bill Parcells. So it's like, he brought something here that he knew was going to work. We saw that same Saints freaking offense house us in the playoffs and didn't kick not any punts, man. No punts for them. Do you remember that? They just housed us. That's the offense. So we sitting there wondering why he going for the fourth down. These are offenses. These are things that he brought from that offense. We're going to get to that clip, but I want to hold that until the next segment. There's definitely a few more comments here in the chat I want to get to. But intern Ryan, what up, though?
Yeah, I just had a little bit of a correction from my last take. Was someone in the chat, Stephen Baffy, said that Robbie Anderson, he changed his name to Chosen. And I did search it up. Robbie Chosen was Robbie Anderson, so I do know who that is. And I also just want to put out a couple more numbers is when Derek Carr and John Morton were there together in 2019 through 2021, that was Derek Carr's best years, over 4,000 yards passing in every single year, and he had over 20 passing touchdowns. So I think with Morton, with a competent roster, unlike he had in New York, well, he didn't have an NFL roster in New York, but when he had it with the Raiders, he did a solid job.
Not like a great roster with the Raiders. Just
no, not at all.
Decent one.
And the Lions.
That's a great pull by you, man.
The Lions' offensive roster is way better than what he had at the Jets. I mean, Josh Jacobs, Darren Waller, Hunter Renfrow, Carr, those are good players. But that's not quite the Jared Goffs of the world, the Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, all those guys. So when Morton did have a competent roster, he was able to get it done. So I'm just going to put it out there.
Yep, and I see some people in the chat here. Let me see here. You got another one, another vote for T. Foss doing the up for speculation. Can T. Foster deliver the Satisfy That Like Button segment song? So you're going to have to do this thing. That's another vote for T. Foss. He looks like a man that is up for the mission. But there is a lot that is here in the chat. There's a lot of people who are liking us. And your favorite uncle, he says Ragnow scares him more as well. Let me see here.
88 to 12% in the chat that Ragnow is the bigger concern.
I didn't think it would be that lopsided.
Yeah, no, the chat, I haven't really even seen a lot of concern for the coordinators in the chat family. Let me know why that is. I'm curious now why it is Ragnow over the coordinators. How much belief and confidence do you have in them? Because everybody outside of Detroit continues to say, no, those two coordinators are going to be an issue. I just don't hear them say that, though, when the Eagles lose their coordinators. Like, I wonder what is the difference with the Lions that they're all stating this, they're losing their coordinators. You guys are just, woe is the Lions.
I think it's what T-Foss said yesterday. They think that this franchise is still pathetic. They still have that sitting in the back of their minds that
SOL.
We are the same old Lions and that we're going to continue to choke, especially after they saw us lose at home to a rookie quarterback last year. I think the recency bias is what's really driving these arguments, and I believe that it's just media BS. I mean, I really don't. It's recency bias. It's not knowing the nuances of the fact that our entire defense was essentially hurt in the playoff game. I don't know.
Yeah, people are acting like that defense was whole at the end of the season. They're acting like that defense should have played like a top 10 defense at the end, and it shouldn't have, and it didn't.
Yeah.
I thought they were smoke and mirrors against Minnesota. I thought Minnesota was going to carve them up, but they didn't. So they found a way to get through Minnesota, couldn't find a way to get through the Commanders, and the Commanders, once again, a rookie. Yeah, he was a rookie quarterback, but he played unlike any rookie I ever saw. I mean, this dude was like, I'm not afraid of anything. And I talked to people from Washington, and they told me this dude is not bothered by anything. I didn't believe him. I'm like, okay, whatever. Wait till he comes to Ford Field. He's going to be, crapping in his pants. And he didn't.
Yeah, and I see Charles McClain in the chat. He says, look what Morton did with Knicks last year. And you know what, Cavassier Chase, I always appreciate your insight on the matters. Before we move on to what Mark Schlareth said, just want to be able to get your comments on it all. It's a lot of disbelief with John Morton, a lot of what I believe to be backhanded disrespect towards Dan Campbell and what he's already established here as a head coach. It seems like, in my opinion, people just don't want to give him his due, that he is one of those transformative coaches who has a grip on both the offense and the defense.
I mean, are you talking about in terms of Dan Campbell or John Morton?
Both, either or, just both of them. Like I feel like John Morton, by being the guy that Dan Campbell has selected, is a guy that we should trust, especially given what he's done here prior. And then you look at, I like the polls that intern Ryan had when he had a roster, just marginal roster. He's had some success. When the roster has been like UFL level, it's looked UFL like with the results as well. But I feel like both John Morton and Dan Campbell are being underrated and disrespected in the same time.
I mean, I think Dan Campbell's shown throughout his Lions tenure, he's made the right decisions as far as like being the head coach and like putting the right people, like players and coaches, on his staff, in the personnel decisions. But I mean, yeah, with John Morton, if people like that comes with the territory of being in a new position, and if people want to call you necessarily like unproven based on like your resume, because it doesn't matter like who you had on that roster, like you were given the task to do a job, and it's outcome based. It's not, you can't come up with the excuses of, I had this guy and I had that guy. It doesn't matter. It's that this isn't a results driven business in the NFL, just like any other sport. And I mean, like I said, it's in a new position, and with a new team, and that just comes with the territory. I think he'll go out there and because like Dan Campbell has chosen this guy, I think there's like a reason to believe in him. But I mean, he is gonna have to go out and show it.
In their defense, professional sports, two words always come up: show me.
Yeah.
When Dan Campbell came in, talking all his mess, show me.
The narrative didn't change until he did.
Right. When Brad Holmes came in and when we questioned every move, show me.
We still questioning his moves.
And we still doing that. Right.
So, T-Foss, I want these national media people to show me the stats from the first 6 weeks of the season when Aiden Hutchinson was still in the lineup, and tell me where that defense ranked, because it was top 5. That was a top 5 defense in the NFL until Hutch got hurt. And you were saying that they would have let up 45 points if they would have had Carlton Davis, Aiden Hutchinson, and Aleem McNeil playing in that playoff game.
Not at all.
Like that changes the game completely. Like the way that the Lions play that game changes. They play it more in their style, running the ball more, and they're not trying to win a shootout.
I think they would have been better equipped as well to handle or deal with or limit the mistake, the damage from those turnovers as well. We've seen them do this. We've seen Goff go out there and throw a plethora of interceptions, and the team actually still come back and win, and it's because of they got some dogs out there on defense. So it's like, yeah, I definitely, in the Weezy D313, they were top 5 without Z. Come on, Weezy D313. Stop taking unnecessary shots at Z. We all love Z around here, man. But you're exactly right. But I do want to be fair to the panel, because Schlareth, I think, I know when you hear his comments, and you can sense a little bit of the energy, but he remained, I will say, panel professional. He did give a resounding vote of confidence for Dan Campbell. So let's say what up, though, to some friends. And when we get back, we're going to definitely hear from Mark Schlareth and what he had to say about the Detroit Lions this year.
And Dr. Pierce.
Buddy's Pizza and Dr. Pierce. Hey, so we got a 2-for-2 Detroit Kool-Aid special. You know what's special about lunch today? Buddy's Pizza. That's where you guys got to get to. Buddy's Pizza has been serving the original Detroit-style pizza since 1946, and 79 years later. And they have 22 locations in this great state of pure Michigan, and fans can still visit where it all began on the corner of 6 Mile and Conant. Sign up for Buddy's Rewards to earn points on every purchase and receive exclusive promotions. Download the Buddy's Pizza mobile app and start earning today. Add some Detroit style to your next meal. Remember, save that 10% off your entire order by using promo code 10MIL in the app. That is the number 10MEAL, Buddy'sPizza.com. And attention sports fans. So I know that's all of you out there. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy, every Thursday during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts, because Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsandSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Are you a real Detroit sports fan? Woodward Sports is here to give you all the Detroit sports you can handle. Weekdays, make sure you're locked in on Wake Up Woodward from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Followed by Big D Energy with Neil Rule and Darren McCarty from 11 a.m. to 1. Up next, you can't miss Ermanni and Edwards with Maz from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. And finish the day out with the bad boys of Detroit sports media, the Woodward Heavyweights, from 5 to 7 p.m. Okay, wait, that isn't enough for you, you sports freak? Check out Woodward Wings, Woodward Ringside, and the Lions Weekly Update every Sunday with Broder, Terry Foster, and Sean Belegian. Subscribe on YouTube for all our great content, and make sure you're following on all social media, X, IG, Facebook, and TikTok. You want sports? We got you covered. Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Hey, Tony, what's up, bro?
Same circus, different clowns.
For sure. You want the usual, the big zip?
You know me too well.
I threw a little something extra in there for your ma.
Oh,
Hope
man.
she's doing all right.
Ay, guy, sei un santo. You're a saint.
All right, buddy, we'll see you next time, okay?
Grazie.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Justice! Hey, with the Batman shirt, all right. It means different things to different people, but whether it's settlement or verdict, justice is always worth the fight. If you've got a case, contact the fighters at Vin Johnson Law today and get justice you deserve. Tough, tenacious, trial lawyers. Vin Johnson Law. Cool people over there, too.
Justice.
Hey, welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward Chat family. Y'all have been epic. You guys have been engaging. You guys have been getting your answers into some of these questions. The Detroit Rats was epic. If you still got some Detroit Rats, get them into the chat. Even if it's something we've talked about, we don't mind resetting that as we're, into our second hour. And you know what? There's one Detroit Rat you left out. Placido Polanco. Your favorite player.
I wouldn't consider him a rat.
I thought Polanco would have. That's his favorite player, by the way.
Do you guys know who Gazoo is?
Gazoo?
Gazoo was this guy with a big fat head.
The cartoon character.
Yeah,
cartoon character.
That's who he looked like. He had this big fat pumpkin head, but he could play.
Shout out to
He's a rat.
He's not a rat. He was too good to be a rat. He was a multiple-time All-Star. Like if we're saying that the rat conversation is role players, Polanco was never a role player.
You know what? You're staying consistent with it, man, and I like that. Hey, shout out to Kerry Simmelchick in the chat. He says, if you think Campbell, that's Dan Campbell with Sean Payton, with Miami can't get an offense together, you are underestimating him. And we're going to talk about that because Mark Schlareth of Breakfast Ball via Fox Sports, he had a lot to say in response to Mr. Craig Carton, who does not believe in the Lions, does not believe in their offense this year, and does believe they're going to take a step back, does not believe that they're a lock for the division, believes it's going to be, he says, incredibly difficult for them to win a Super Bowl this year. He's down and out on them, and he also called out John Morton's time with the Jets is why he doesn't believe in them. But T. False, this is your big debut. The people have asked for it, and they want you to satisfy that like button today. The music is going to be playing, so when you see these lights kind of go up on the monitor, you got to have to quiet storm this thing.
I like it wet.
Hey!
Right? So when you do the like button, just don't press the button. I want you to do this.
Hey! There you go.
Take a little lick and then
nasty.
press it. Because I like it wet. Let's hit the wet. I can't even say it. Let's hit the like button. Make it wet for me. And don't play me either. Don't pretend to do it. Actually do it. Don't try me today.
Please don't, T-False.
Because I'm not in the mood to be tried.
What up, though, with Detroit Gunny said, yes, I made it back just in time for
T-False
this.
is coming for you if you don't do that. Smash that like button. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I'll get you too. When you least expect it.
Shout out to the legend, man. Downriver.
You want the easy way or the hard way?
You want the easy way or the hard way?
let me tell you right now. I like you and I want you, so we can either do this
Look
the
at the
easy
chat
way or the
lighting up,
hard
dog.
way.
Look at the chat lighting up, man. Hey, what up, though, with Detroit Gunny says, wet and soft. Broder says, OMG. Vincent E.T. Foss, and he got the I'm dead emojis, man. Hey, shout out to Steve DeYoung. Satisfy the like button like T. Foss satisfied Minnie Mouse.
That's right. Y'all know that?
Oh, yeah.
Young fellas, do you know the story about me and Minnie Mouse?
No, I don't.
I know the story. They
He
don't
definitely
probably.
satisfied Minnie Mouse.
I had sex with Minnie Mouse. I'll say it.
That was definitely 150 likes for it.
Now, one of my friends worked at Disney, and I spent the week with her. And then she said, this girl kind of likes you, and she's wondering if y'all could go out and stuff. So we talked and everything. She was Minnie Mouse. She had the Minnie Mouse, so we smashed, and we had a good time. We spent a couple days together. And so, yeah, I hit it with Minnie Mouse.
Jeez. Did she at least? So usually they call it what? Smash and dash. But at Disney World, it's only appropriate, smash and pass. I mean, like, did she at least give you a fast pass for like the ride?
She did. The only disappointment I had is when we were messing around. I wish she was wearing the Minnie Mouse shoes.
Oh my God!
What about the gloves?
I didn't get. Yeah, the gloves. Yeah, that would have been cool. But she was.
This, right. It's like my legend.
She got
It's her eyes over there wishing he could get caught in the mouse trap.
She did not have the head on, but I saw her the next day.
So quick, dog.
No, I saw her the next day.
Mr. Fast. I'm just loose with it.
You know what?
I went to Disney the next day, and I passed Minnie Mouse, and she didn't say anything, but she tilted her head. She went.
She gave you the nod. She gave the head nod.
It's all right. How you feeling over there?
So it was for real.
This is an entertaining episode. I'll say it's a Friday and everything's just being put out there, so it's awesome. I like it.
This is
Yeah,
awesome,
but here's the dangerous thing about Disney. I could have been with Mickey Mouse because she told me that sometimes Mickey Mouse is a girl.
So you a real Detroit rat.
Right.
Detroit rat T-Foss.
No, but I didn't tell you guys. Minnie Mouse saved my life.
Tell me about
I was they stayed at an apartment complex, and there's like a pond in the middle of the thing. So I'm by the pond in a chair reading a book. And so she said, "Dude, you better get away from there." I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "There's gators in that pond." And so, I'm used to Michigan. And so then we're actually in the city of Orlando. I said, "There's no alligators in the city." She said, "Oh, yes, there are." So then I came out maybe a couple hours later. There was a gator there.
Goodness, a gator?
An alligator.
Yeah,
and he was like
I ain't
8
trying to mess with
foot.
it.
He was like 8 foot long, man.
Craig, give me Snow White.
So I not only smashed it with Minnie Mouse, but Minnie Mouse saved my life.
Look what
Probably.
you started in the chat, dog. I wonder how this is gonna go in the chat. Now people are gonna be giving me their favorite cartoon characters, but
everybody gonna be dropping their own Disney
You know who
princesses.
saved my life? Dan Campbell. And I think that he's going to be the reason why this offense is saved from the demises that everybody believes is going to happen with Ben Johnson, the great, going to Chicago. And you know what, Mark Schlareth? He didn't seem to be too okay with Craig Carton's comments. And he gave his reply as why he says you should believe in the Detroit Lions and this offense. It's what I'm talking about. You know who's a ball knower? Mark Schlareth is a ball knower. And I'm so glad that he chose to stand on business for Dan Campbell as not just a guy who's brought an offense here, but a brilliant mind, a high IQ mind, and a guy who's continued to be the guy who's had his hand on the pulse of what this team is going to be, both offensively and defensively. I like the fact that he stated right from the get-go, I thought this team was the best team in all of football for most of that season last year, and that defense was the only thing. The injuries to the defense is what he believes what undid them. I think he's trying to make sure people know any aspect of demise that you associate with the Detroit Lions is straight up disrespect to Dan Campbell, especially when you talk about this offense, because he lays it out there. And if you want to believe, if you don't want to believe Mark Schlareth, it's like, why not? This guy's been in it, NFL. He's been connected to it. He's been connected to even the Lions organizations to certain degrees, so he understands what's happening behind the scenes. I actually agree with a lot of what he says, and he continues to say, this buck has always stopped or started with Dan Campbell. Whether it's different coordinators, different positional coaches, he has made sure to bring in people that can fit to the vision he wants outlaid. He's not a guy who just, here's an offense I want you to run. Can you make this magical? No, he's the guy who sits down and says, this is the offense that I brought here. This is the offense that we poured the foundation to. This is an offense that you're going to have to run. You can make some tweaks on top of this foundation, and that's what my biggest takeaway from Mark Schlareth in this thing. And
fellas,
I do believe it's a warning
do you
shot
know the
to
mistake that
everyone
we're
who doubts
making?
them. Talk to me.
We're only looking at the losses that the Lions had this offseason. We're not looking at the additions.
Yep.
One, they're going to get 14 new defensive players, guys who were injured last year, so they're all going to play. Aiden Hutchinson is going to play, and Aiden Hutchinson is going to play at a high level. Now, when I was covering the league, every time there was an injury, like a knee injury or something, I wasn't concerned. But I would talk to doctors and say, yeah, you better be concerned with the ligament injuries. But if somebody broke a bone, I was like freaking out. I said, no, it's going to be good. They'll put a pole in there or a rod or what do they put in there. The bone is something you don't worry about. You put stuff on it, he's going to be fine. So Aiden Hutchinson is going to be fine. So the Lions are going to have that star edge rusher. I know you don't get Aleem McNeil yet, but he's going to come back eventually. But you're going to get most of your defense back. The other thing you're going to get is you're going to get a new Jahmyr Gibbs. This guy is about to emerge, and he's going to be dangerous. He's going to be nasty. And I want to go back to – I always hate to go back in the day, but he's going to be like Muhammad Ali. You can't catch what you can't see.
Yep.
And that's what Gibbs is going to be. Penei Sewell had a really pissed off look on his face every time they lose. He's going to even get better, if you can believe that or not. So they're gaining a lot too, in addition to the losses. And to me, I'd rather have players than coaches.
Sheesh.
And I understand that, yes, you lost Ragnow in the middle of the line. You're a little bit worried about. I'm not as worried about that because of the way this offense is structured. It's get it out quick. It's play action. And because Jared Goff has that white boy wiggle,
let's go.
I'm not as afraid of the rush coming through the middle as I am from the outside.
I'm not either. I mean, you got to understand the Detroit Lions have proven – they have everything they need to counter a specific type of rush. They've largely been able to keep Jared Goff upright and out of a lot of stress for most of his time here in Detroit, even when the offensive line has been injured. And it's because you got a lot of stars to account for. What are you going to do? You're going to engage with Sam Laporta, and then all of a sudden, if you see Sam Laporta take one step towards the middle of the field, that blocker hesitates 1 second. That mean, the defender hesitates for 1 second. That linebacker looks for 1 second, and then guess who they've missed? Jahmyr Gibbs off the play action out the backfield.
Right.
That to me is where I think people are overthinking this too much. They're almost acting as if John Morton is some guy who they just picked up off the scrap heap. Some guy who's just coaching high school football here in the state of Michigan, and he's just a good guy. Gosh darn it, we just need somebody who can just come in here. That's what I feel like they're treating it like that, and it's like wait. This guy has had some success in this league. Dan Campbell himself has said that he was one who helped me lay the foundation of the offense that Jared Goff runs, that Ben Johnson was calling. This was him. He was a part of this. We pulled up. If he has at least something marginal at quarterback, he has made a difference either as offensive coordinator or quarterback coach or passing coordinator. Shout out to Intron Ryan for the pulls. And we've shown that when the roster wasn't there, the success lacked. Despite, and I get what Kavasi was saying earlier, we never want to make up the excuses, but there was a job for that front office to do, and they didn't do that job for him with the Jets. And that, to me, is where when you look at what the Lions have right now in terms of the job Brad Holmes has done and the job Dan Campbell has done, it does make me that much more confident in what John Morton can be here, especially when you consider the fact he's already been here. So, we got one more. I want to be able to have some fun with this one. Let's two-shot it for that last one and talk about the Lions' schedule and the fact that Craig only sees 3 guaranteed wins on this thing. And I know you had a nice piece on Delta. they've now would expand it to go into 5 places.
Well, here's how powerful Lion fans are.
Talk to me.
Lion fans travel now. They know you're going to fill up the stadium. So Delta Airlines smartly said, hey, let's take advantage of that. So what Delta is doing is they have flights leaving out of Detroit and Grand Rapids. Like, I think there's Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, and they come back. Some flights come back Sunday night after the game or Monday morning.
Yeah.
So Delta has expanded their flights for the weekends that Lions are playing in certain cities. For instance, they have expanded flights for Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Los Angeles, Kansas City, and Philadelphia. Those are the 5 big road games. They know Lion fans are showing up, so they say, oh, we're going to throw a couple extra jets out there.
Well,
which is smart.
That is smart. And shout out to Delta. Shout out to Lions fans, because when you talk about Lions doing things that no other people are doing, you talk about Detroit is doing it better than everybody else, which we might have to run that segment back one day, T-Falls. This is amazing to hear that Lions fans make so many waves that corporate industries are saying, hey, we got to be there to capitalize on it. So good on Detroit
And
Lions
bro,
fans, man.
they ain't doing one airport. They're doing 2.
That's crazy.
Detroit and Grand Rapids.
And Grand Rapids?
Yeah.
Shout out, man.
Well,
So this is pure Michigan type stuff, man. State of Michigan, stand up, man. I definitely salute, because this is what we're talking about. We do it better. Don't tell me with some small market. What are you talking about? Nobody moves like Detroit moves. And now I think that the people who for years thought small market, let's block them out. I get some of these other melting pots and all this. We are the passion. We're the ones that stick with our squad. We're the ones that move with our squad. We're the ones that take over your stadiums. I was told that Packers fans were the best in the world. They have stock in their team. I didn't see that when we showed up to Lambeau and we took over your house. I saw Sheila prancing around your field. I saw Brad Holmes screaming around your field. I saw Jared Goff roaming around your field. And I saw Lions fans all over your stadium. Shout out to Delta for recognizing that. They believe it's going to be good. But if Craig Carton of Breakfast Ball via Fox Sports is to be believed, you're going to see a whole lot of losses on the road this year, because he does not believe in what the Lions are going to be. He only sees 2 or 3 maybe guaranteed wins for him. Let's get that last clip on the 2 or 3 shot, Mr. JB Smooth. Shout out to Danny Parkins, who was on the right. In the beginning of the clip, he's a Bears fan who said, you guys are crazy. If you think the Lions are falling off, I think that they are locked to win the division. I think the Bears got better. He said, I promise you, he says this, the Bears gained more with Ben Johnson than the Detroit Lions lost. Effectively, you guys are fools. And you see at the end of the clip, he's trying to tell Craig, and that's what I said, well, you know, if the Lions do this good, you won't get your team. He said, bro, I'm just here to tell the truth effectively. So shout out to Danny Parkins on the side.
I got a question for all you guys. All of you.
But they said only 2 or 3 wins. Browns, Steelers, maybe Giants. That's from Mr. Craig Carton. It's a joke.
You know,
it's a joke,
the guy is a joke. But here's the question. I'm hearing a theme today. The Lions are going to take a step back. Let me ask you this question. First of all, nobody wins 15 games in the National Football League. That's very rare. Now, let me ask you this. Let's say the Lions stay relatively healthy. The offense is what we expect it to be, and the defense is better, and they win 12 games this year. Is that taking a step back?
No, because the schedule is so much harder, though.
Okay.
Not at all.
If the Lions win 11 games, is that taking a step back?
Are we winning the division with 11 or 12 wins?
Yes.
Then no, it's not a step back.
Not at all.
I mean, 15 wins, that's incredible, but they're not winning 15, 14 wins again.
That's freakish.
Might not even 13.
Okay, so the only way the Lions could take a step back is if they win 9 games and don't win a playoff game.
Seriously.
Who up here thinks that's going to happen?
Not at all. That's not happening at all, brother.
Okay, who thinks they'll win 10 games and not win a playoff game?
I don't believe in that at all. That's tomfoolery.
So none of y'all think they're going to take a step, and I agree with it. They're not taking a step back. But in the fans' eyes, I mean, if let's say they finish 12-5, old Joe Six-Pack is going to say, I told you they took a step back. Dude, people don't win 15 games.
He said Browns and Steelers. He said Browns and maybe the Steelers. Then later said, well, I guess the Giants too, as the only guaranteed wins on the schedule for the Lions. As if the Bears twice ain't up there. As if we didn't just go undefeated in the NFC North. Like, what are we talking about, man? And so that's where it got me thinking. When we talk about those destinations that Delta's going to, if you listen to him, he's saying that we pulling up to a lot of losses, which I just think is absolutely insane, brother. I just do, man. But Justin, when you look at the schedule, how you feeling about the Lions' outlook? Obviously, we've all given our season expectations, but when you talk about only 2 to 3 guaranteed wins, I feel like that's really disrespectful to a Lions team who has absolutely owned their division now for a few years.
Yeah, that's utterly ridiculous. I can't vibe out with that. We're talking about a team last year that, I'm just trying to do the math real quick, had a winning record against playoff teams. So if it is a playoff schedule, like they say, they're still going to be successful.
How did they do on the road last year?
Undefeated.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And so am I worried about going on the road? No. Am I worried about the division? Certainly not. We've beat them every single time.
How many dogs
were
out last year, but they still had these accomplishments?
I don't know. Defensive Player of the Year candidate, Aiden Hutchinson.
That's a big one.
Aleem McNeil, All-Pro.
That's a really big one. $20 million man.
Carlton Davis, cornerback 1, veteran leader of the secondary.
It's a lot. And
David Montgomery in at 3/4 health.
Alex Anzalone for a few.
Alex Anzalone was playing with half a hand. I'm just being honest here. I mean, he's playing with a hammer on his hand.
Shout out to the crew this morning, man. Shout out to the crew for real. I know because I'm looking at the time and I want to save you this time for this college special. And this way we got to do it, man, because I know we could talk about this for a long time.
I just have one more question for you.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I went back on Twitter to Woodward's post about Ben Johnson being hired from being the tight ends coach to the OC, and everyone was just glazing him, which is so weird to me because that team was showing zero life. They were coming off their 3-13 season, and everyone was just glazing the fact that. But I think that now that we're good and that we're trying to replace how good Ben Johnson was, people are scared when John Morton has more credibility leading into this job than Ben Johnson did in 2022.
But do you know why they glaze him? Go back and look at the comments from the articles. You're going to see one big name, Dan Campbell, saying you got to believe in this guy.
Yep.
And people believed him. That's the thing.
But
now
fellas, here's the thing. Here's once again, let's talk about addition. Let's say John Morton is not really good as an offensive coordinator. You know what's going to happen?
They'll fire him.
No, there'll be a press conference, and Dan Campbell will say, guys, I've decided I'm going to call the plays. Mm-hmm. So you can correct all this stuff that you're worried about.
Hey, he fired Lynn mid-season.
He's done this before. So, dog, this has been a fire show, man. Shout out to you, chat family, for being very, very engaging. Let's take a quick one. I want to get back and we'll split the remainder of the show. Justin with the college football preview. I can't wait for the weekend show that's on the way. And we also have what's trending too. So, JB Smooth, what friends shall we say hello to first?
We got to say what up to White Claws Tour and Lady Jane's.
Hey, let's double up. And this one is of particular interest and importance for today. So calling all Tigers fans, join us for the White Claw Tigers Tour. Woodward Sports will be hitting 4 of the top bars in Detroit to watch a Tigers game live on the network. We already did the first one at McShange, and it was pretty epic. We want to see you guys out there. I think we're going to have some more of our personalities in addition to the heavyweights. So you want to join Spencer, Easy, Chris Platty, and the best Tigers reporter in the game, Nick Koloff, today, June 13th, for our second stop on the tour at Nemo's Bar in Detroit. Be part of the fun and see our reactions live on Woodward Sports Network to one of the hottest teams. I'm going to say it, the best team in baseball. It's the White Claw Tigers Tour, brought to you by White Claw and Vin Johnson Law. And guys, let's be honest, we like simple stuff like gimmies on the golf course. We like uncomplicated, like, hey guys, Dan Campbell is going to have this offense okay. Like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in, sign in, and before you know it, you're handsome and clean. Lady Jane's, open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Loves Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
You know how some things are so good they should be world famous, but they're not? Our house-made vinaigrette is one of those things. And the antipasta salad, we drizzle it over. Same with our hand-battered chicken tenders. Original recipe soups and pasta sauces. It's almost as if our original, world-famous Detroit-style pizza is mocking them. And that's not very nice.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Enjoy Loom Cannabis refreshing, buzzing favorites like watermelon, cherry, strawberry, or cool off with 2 new summer flavors. Peach and raspberry lemonade. Crack a can, take a sip, and catch a buzz. Available at any of Loom's 38 locations across the state of Michigan. Use code WSN30 for 30% off your entire order, online or in store. Go to www.loom.com today.
Hey, we are back at this Wake Up Woodward and Chat family has been epic, man. They've been on one word to my brother Eduardo O'Neal. If you haven't gotten the opportunity to, go ahead and smash that like button. But we appreciate all of the support, all of the engagement. People have loved Uncle T. Foster.
You got to lick your finger first and then smash it.
Yeah, because you like it. What did you say? You like it wet, right?
Want it wet.
Hey, you guys heard the legend. He satisfied that like button today, and all of you guys got to follow his lead. Stephen Baffy in the chat. I like this one here. He says, Dan Campbell's not given enough credit. He is hands down the best coach in the NFL. If I could play in the NFL for one guy, it is him. I would not care what city he was coaching in. Shout out to Stephen Baffy. Shout out to Dan Campbell. But I throw it over to that dude, Justin, for a few minutes here to go through college football preview. And you said that you believe that there is one absolutely guaranteed loss for Michigan on their schedule to another powerhouse squad.
Oh, yes, and I hate to be that guy, I really do, but if you have been here for over a year, you do know that I am a very credible college football source, and if you would like to see my credibility, you can go on my Twitter, Justice Tawa. I hit 76% of my college football bets last year at minus 140 or better,
Jeez.
so...
Woodward Betts in the house.
Man, those balls.
It was crushing, bro. That's why I can't wait for the college football show. And I know some of the characters that you've been reaching out to, some of the people that will be involved. I cannot wait for this show, bro.
Yeah, I can't wait. Sean Belizean's going to be involved a little bit. He told me that yesterday, so that's super exciting. So be on the lookout for a college football show that should be coming
a little bit of Braylon interaction.
July or August. But the main point that I have today is Michigan is in a brutal place, and it is time that the fan base needs to realize that. Michigan is going to lose to Oklahoma in week 2.
I don't like hearing this.
Dun, dun, dun. Loss, and I'll tell you why. The first reason is you are going to be starting a group of 5 quarterback that has never played a defense like Oklahoma, or you will be starting a true freshman on the road in his second career college start in a new offense with a brand new system from Chip Lindsey. We are talking about 2 teams that are eerily similar. They both have dominant D-lines, good defenses. Their offense is built on running the ball, but the difference will be the fact that they have the #1 transfer portal recruit in the country, John Mater. He is from Washington State. He was the prize of the portal. He is a dual threat, 6'1", 200-pound unit that runs, throws, prototypical college quarterback. And when it comes down to games early in the season, when everything isn't all ready to go, everything's not clicking on all cylinders, especially when you have so much movement within Michigan's offense. Also, their wide receiver room sucks. So that's another aspect of this. It is going to be ridiculously hard for Michigan to go in there, especially with all the noise around the program, with all the scandals, with the talk about Sharon Moore being self-suspended for the 3rd and 4th game. And I just don't think that this is going to be an environment where they feel comfortable letting Bryce Underwood go out there and ball. I think that they're going to start Mikey Keene. I think that's the wrong decision. I think you got to let the rook cook. You got to let him go out there. You got to show what he has. And I think that if they do that, they will have a chance in that game. But if they do not, John Mater is going to absolutely dunk on Michigan. If they try to play an offensive style of game, Oklahoma will win. So I'll open it up to the floor. I had JB and my intern Ryan tap in with me and see what they think. So
let's digest this a little bit. So first off, it's June. A lot of things can happen, and I think
what can happen before the end of the season.
Before the start of the season.
Yep. What can happen?
Any injuries in fall camp?
All right.
But let's these two
as the teams sit right now.
That's kind of flannel like over there, intern Ryan.
But so these two teams are so similar. Like, this is going to be a tough game. But let's look at even just the coaches, coordinators. Both of them are coordinators, and I personally think that this is year one for both of these coaches. I know Venables has been there for like 3 or 4 years, but he's got 1 year of the SEC under his belt because Oklahoma didn't know what they were going into the SEC, and this is Sharon's first full off season. He kind of realized, hey, I might need a quarterback and possibly throw the forward pass to succeed in college football. But with Oklahoma, there's one thing that you didn't mention with Oklahoma in Mateer, is they brought over the offensive coordinator from Washington State in Arbuckle, I believe is his last name.
Yep, that is who it is.
In Washington State. But both of these teams took over programs that were in Lincoln Riley and Jim Harbaugh that were both in and around the college football playoff year in and year out. Both of these coaches are taking over programs that were successful. And now there's a little bit of pressure for both of these teams to continue on that success. For the Michigan side, you're bringing in we don't know who the quarterback is yet. Is it going to be Mikey Keene? Is it going to be Underwood? And you mentioned the environment. Both of these teams have really gotten the transfer portal, and Michigan's offensive line scares me. It really does. I know it's successful in years past, and Sharon Moore was an offensive line coach and an offensive lineman at Oklahoma. But I think the biggest thing in this game is Michigan going to be able to throw the ball? That's going to be the biggest thing in this game. And you mentioned that Michigan's wide receiver room sucks. We don't even know if their wide receivers are any good at all because they didn't even throw the ball at all last year. But in the end, it's going to come down to either John Mateer for Oklahoma, who's going to make the plays, or it's going to be Bryce Underwood or Mikey Keene that's going to eventually make the plays, because both of these coaches, Wink Martindale, great defensive schemes, and Brent Venables, is he going to make the great defensive schemes? But it's going to come down to the I'm him moment with Underwood or Mateer or Mikey Keene, whoever it is.
And if we're talking about I'm him moments, I'm willing to take the 4-star recruit transfer, the number 1 in the class, who is a top 10 Heisman candidate, who has good receivers, who has a baked-in offensive line, and who is used to the system that he will be playing in. Bryce Underwood or Mikey Keene will have to completely learn Chip Lindsey's new system. So will Justice Haynes. So will Jordan Marshall. They are running the same system from Washington State with multiple transfers, with the quarterback there. I think that Oklahoma will be a more efficient offense by week 2. I'm not saying if they played at the end of the year that Michigan wouldn't beat them, but because it is week 2, it is so early in the season, you are going to have to travel on the road. You are going to have the suspension looming over the team for the next 2 games. I just don't think that Michigan will win this game, and I think that Oklahoma is going to be equipped to be able to beat Michigan. But I think it's tough.
But Oklahoma's also going to have to learn the Arbuckle offense as well. I know it helps with having Mateer already built in and they work together. But the running backs, wide receivers, and O-line, who they did bolster the offensive line in Oklahoma through the portal. But that's going to be a ton. And the whole suspension thing, we thought the hammer was going to drop during the Ohio State game of last year, and it hasn't yet. And the NCAA, they move super slow. So we don't even know when the suspensions are. But if I were to make a prediction right now, I'm going to lean Oklahoma simply because of the veteran quarterback. Not that Bryce Underwood's not good at all. We don't know what he's going to be. And the simple fact that it's going to be in Norman, Oklahoma, and that place is going to be rocking, second game of the season, and we know how the South is with their football, and it's going to be a ton of people packed into that stadium, and it's going to be a living hell for Bryce Underwood or Mikey Keene, whoever it is.
And one other thing, Delta Airlines is doing flights for the Oklahoma game.
Makes sense.
So yeah,
Makes
so
sense.
they're doing that.
go.
But you know what? Seriously, I saw something dangerous at the end of the high school football season. I saw Bryce Underwood play. He stopped throwing the ball. He threw. When I saw him play, he threw the ball 8 times. So what? I mean, those are games they felt they really had to win, so they took the ball out of his hands. And he can run. I tell you that. That brother can run.
And I see Dante151 in the chat. He says Sean said Michigan will beat Oklahoma, and he's a Sparty. JB Smooth, you're our resident Sparty here too. You've heard the dialogue between that dude Justin and intern Ryan. How you feeling?
I mean, I'm not going to say it's out of the possibilities that Michigan could win in week 2, but obviously this is just a preview of a too early look ahead. Week 1, Michigan, they'll have their way with the Lobos. Bryce Underwood should look amazing in that game. They'll probably take him out halfway through. But when it comes to week 2, when you're on the road, giving this freshman a start in a very dangerous environment that is the Sooners in Oklahoma, that's a rough territory to try and, get a win in, especially given the fact that you are going to this dangerous territory. He's playing his first road game, and it's just kind of factors you don't want to put the pressure on this freshman quarterback. You don't want to diminish this man's confidence as well, too. So you're going to have to see. And when it comes to if they play him or another quarterback in this game, you got to follow the money. And if the money's towards Bryce Underwood, yes, you're going to play him at either the full game or halfway through, depending on the flow of the game, which I can see it going one or two ways. One, either Oklahoma is just lighting up the scoreboard and you don't want to diminish Bryce's confidence because you can't put together plays. Or two, this is going to be a slow, grinded out, low-scoring game that at the second half, Michigan could quite potentially just choke the life out of the Sooners and it'll just be a boring game. So those are my two outlooks. But when it comes to what Ryan was saying as well, too, that, hey, this is going to come down between the two quarterbacks, whether it's John Mater and Bryce Underwood, and the coordinators as well, too. Who is going to string together enough plays that they can honestly edge out the other?
I can't wait for this show.
Yeah, and ultimately, in this game, if Underwood struggles or Mikey Keene struggles, Michigan's just going to try to muck it up and just try to run the ball down Oklahoma's throat. But Oklahoma, unlike in that Ohio State game, they got a good defensive line.
And then thank you, Ryan, because that was the point I have been saving as I've waited for you guys to go around the room. They have brought in one of the best D linemen in the transfer portal, a defensive end from Florida State who had 9 sacks last year. He will be paired with a first-round projected 2026 draft pick on the other side of their edge. They also have 2 very good defensive tackles. One is a sophomore. He will get drafted in the top 3 rounds of the 2027 draft. So they are going to have just as good of a D-line as Michigan. So when Michigan doesn't have that advantage, I just don't think that they are good enough through and through like Oklahoma is since they brought in Mater.
This is going to be interesting. You know what? I already see how we can do with
yes, I know Oklahoma lost their bowl game last year, but there's something called opt-outs, guys. It matters, okay?
I want to be able to this year, I want to be able to follow a lot of the points of contention, a lot of the dissension, a lot of the disagreements. I want to follow these things this year. I want to track this, especially with the college football show. That dude, Justin, he's putting his X for Oklahoma.
Well,
and intern Ryan, you're putting yours, what, you believe is Michigan?
No, I think Oklahoma edges it out as of right now. But, again, the thing that I don't like about this is the defensive line. And because in the end, we've seen Sharon Moore win it against Penn State and even against Ohio State this year. Penn State in 2023, Ohio State this year, that he's going to muck it up. Even in that Alabama bowl game, they can't throw the ball. And that's what he's going to lean to is just mucking it up, and they can't do that against this Oklahoma defense.
It's going to be intriguing. Let's take a quick one because
Chase has one more thing.
Yeah, I just have a quick question. I just want to know if you guys think you're going to lose to Oklahoma, how are you going to handle a 1-2 start to your season? Because the Chippewas come to town.
Matt Trinkle.
Back-to-back losses. If you're calling a loss to Oklahoma,
all right, we're going to take
Trinkle's doing his thing at CMU.
We're going to take the break. We've gone off the rails here.
Hey, yo, the chips are
butter-up chips.
They're coming in for more than a paycheck.
Wait.
Hey, Chippewas beat the Broncos last year.
Outnumbered on this show for once?
Yeah,
this is
apparently.
crazy. Let's take a quick one.
Hey, Chippewas beat the Broncos last year.
Baby. It's going to be like Ann Arbor. It's about a little bighorn, baby.
Oh, my God.
You know what?
Going straight back to back.
Hey, Chippewas are bringing home the Victory Cannon Trophy again this year. Come on.
We got to take a quick one now because the time is running. This show has flown by. We're going to take a quick one, come back, and I know you got a Father's Day video. And, JB, you think we got a little time for We got overtime for what's trending?
Yeah, we can do a little bit real quick. Here,
Let's
we'll
rock.
just
Who got
do.
to say hi to first?
We'll go to our sponsor and then come back with what's trending. We need Feldman and Jars.
Let me tell you about Feldman Chevrolet because they don't blow like Central Michigan.
Damn.
Feldman Chevrolet is Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer with 5 locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing. This month's specials include 2025 Silverado 1500 Crew lease for $149 per month, or the 2026 Equinox LT lease for $209 a month. And you can scan that QR code above. And let me tell you, Stick got a car yesterday. He sent me a video. Quick, easy, salesperson was a dream. So go to Feldman and get a car today.
And sports fans, whether you're hitting the game or simply chilling at home, Jars Cannabis has you covered. Jars is home to Michigan's largest line of recreational cannabis products, 27 locations across the state, 9 alone in Metro Detroit, so there's always one close nearby you. But don't fear, because if you live in Milan, Michigan, Grand Rapids, or Madison Heights, stores are popping up your way very, very soon. Check out all the products they have in store or online at jarscannabis.com, and also check out their Instagram at jars_life, because you know what? I know you want to get high.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
Why do we fight? We fight to protect the innocent, to hold the powerful accountable, to bring the oppressors to justice. Why do we fight? We fight to secure and preserve our civil liberties, to get each and every one of our clients the justice they deserve, and to make the lives of real people just like you whole again. ThenFights.com.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
Hey, ain't nobody better than JB Smooth over there. Let's rock.
And you know he likes it wet too.
Oh, what's going on, fellas? What's going on, chat family? Got a couple things for you. I know we're a little short on time, so I'll try to run through these as a little
they're
bit.
10 likes away right
them all
now
your
from the
Mr.
first
Fast.
giveaway.
10 likes away. Come on, everybody. I got to tell you guys about this place. You guys know the best place to work right now?
Tell me.
Well, it's Google, of course, because if employees pass away, their spouses get 50% of their salary for 10 years. And also, each child receives $1,000 a month until the age of 19, ensuring family support, which is kind of wild and crazy.
That's
to think that a job is offering that. That's nice. Especially Google.
That's incredible, man. And I got to figure out how Queen Kool-Aid and I can get some part-times there, man.
You got to find your way to Google.
This is crazy, dog. Google's always ahead of the curve, in my opinion.
Google is always ahead of the curve. And since we got some youth in the house, Chase.
We have some youth.
Some youths in the house. Chase, Ryan, Justin, I got to ask you, do you guys know what a Borg is?
Yeah.
A Borg? Yeah.
Dude, that's
Blackout Rage
extremely prevalent.
I've had one of those before. I've had a couple of those before.
Yeah, it's extremely all over the place in college. You know where it's also all over the place? At graduation.
Wow.
No.
Someone snuck in.
Hell yeah.
I've only ever had those for...
Look at Justin.
I'm straight up, like, when I graduate Western, I might just go in there just ripping joints in the crowd. I'm not going to lie.
Really?
Like,
Yeah, well, I mean, it's
You
such
know
a-
that's one of our boots on the ground, right?
It's such a trashy campus. They let you get away with anything there.
Oh, wow.
That's a good one, Chase.
You know we got
I'm
boots on the
from
ground for
CMU,
your graduation,
literally
right?
the armpit
You know,
of Michigan. That is
the
so
re-
funny. That is
The
hilarious.
We're actually in, like-
That's why they have that like
on campus,
brownish,
then-
yellowish, like poop and pee
We're actually in the
color.
middle of
No,
Michigan.
you guys are
JB,
literally the
We're actually in the middle?
other than Ferris State. You
Who
guys are the
knew?
ugliest school other than Ferris State. Straight up.
Your colors are brown.
Yeah, like the Western's colors are literally a poop brown and a pea yellow.
That's pretty sweet, though.
We're maroon and gold, Justin. I don't know what happened to your mic. It stopped working. But
Hey, we do have a football national championship though.
Nah, Mr. King Chippewa, right?
People always ask me, what are Western Michigan's colors? And I say shit brown and piss yellow.
Thank you, T.
Hey, but no, JB, that's ballsy to bring a Borgen to graduation.
It is.
I mean, I've only
ballsy,
ever
right?
had them for football tailgates, and it's eventful for it. But man, bring it into a graduation. That's ballsy.
I think it's USC.
Coliseum too.
That's USC.
It's
Yeah.
USC.
Yeah, it's at the Coliseum.
That makes sense.
JB Smooth.
What's up?
How is there more heat between the Broncos and the Chippewas than there is between the Wolverine, myself, and the Sparty, you?
I don't know. This is a
'Cause they
spicy
feel
studio
insignificant 'cause
right
they
now.
can't win a national championship.
We do have a football national championship, 1974. Just want to put that out there. Just putting it out there. And hold on.
T-Foss even alive.
Hold
I was
on.
alive.
T-Foss was alive.
You guys are talking about T-Foss.
Harry Foster was born in 1959.
I didn't watch the game, but I was alive.
Hey, yesterday, one of our CMU track athletes did make it to the finals for steeplechase yesterday. So let's give her love. Shout out Emily Papor. So the Chippewas are
Shout out Emily Papor, bro.
the Chippewas are getting
Who
it
is
done on the
Emily
national
Papor?
stage too, not just you guys.
Did she win?
She just made it to the finals. They
I'm
they
sure
had the
she-
semis yesterday.
If she wins, I can hear about your track national championship.
Oh,
Yeah. Wait, let me do a
Do the
little
flannel.
crash out.
No.
The track.
Hey, we don't even have a hockey team. We don't even have a hockey team. It's not like it even matters. We don't even have a hockey team.
Oh, the track national.
CMU is at All Americans in wrestling.
Hey,
take any stick from
we
T-Boss
did have
about
a we
CMU.
did
I
have a
ain't
number
taking
one
anything
overall
from you,
pick in the
T-Boss.
NFL draft, by the way.
T-Boss,
Eric
listen.
Fisher, dog.
We got to go to both campuses now.
We
That's
do.
what we have to do.
Dude, I had a blast on Western.
You remember I talked to and interviewed your president.
I mean,
too,
Western women
of
are
your school.
easy.
At the Bullseye venue.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know what? Kick off the rest of these videos. We're going to have to do some content on this.
I say I'm gonna
Kick
feel
off the
tight
rest of
going
these
to
what's
Western.
trending,
They
and
get,
let's,
the women out
huh?
there are a different kind of loose.
Yeah.
No.
Usually the Chippewas and the Broncos like each other. Now you.
Nah, Chase
It's
just doesn't
bad
like
blood,
it.
man.
Chase just doesn't like it.
There's bad blood in the water,
I'm
right?
the one that brings it up.
Hey,
How many
I
more videos
respect
you
Western's
got?
men's soccer
just the
program.
one.
2 of my high school teammates are on there. I respect them.
You said 2?
Just the one that I wanted to play for T-Foss because he brought this up about this is how his daughter calls him whenever she needs something.
That's right.
Oh yeah, this is because
Daddy,
it's Father's
my
Day
engine light came on.
coming
I'm
up.
at the dealership. They telling me I need spark plugs
any of
and
y'all
oil.
fathers?
Does that
I know
even
Kool-Aid's
go
a
with the
father.
engine?
Did y'all
One second,
get
I'm
your
talking to my
dads
daddy.
anything for Father's Day? Or
They
do
say
you do
something
that or not?
$150. Does that sound right?
Yeah, but this year my dad just bought a gift.
I
and
gotta
said
make sure
give
y'all not
it
trying to play me.
Father's Day, so
What you think?
he did do that, but no.
Daddy, I left my
get
window open.
screwed.
I got a fly in here, and I've been trying to kill it for like 20 minutes. I can't kill it. Okay, I see you when you get here. Daddy, my GPS is telling me to go west on La Cienega. Does that sound right to you? Dad, I just looked at these new apartments, but I feel like the floor in the apartment, it isn't leveled all the way. So what does that mean? Does that mean that the building is going to collapse? Is it not like built properly? Is the structure, is the foundation and stuff? Like, should I move here? Daddy, if we were to travel through time, would we perceive extraterrestrial intelligence? Daddy, did I call my husband first? Why would I call my husband when I can call my daddy?
That's how it really is.
What is
T-Boss.
going on, man?
That's my daughter to a T. Because she
man.
lives in Los Angeles, and I always have these kind. Daddy, Daddy, there's a spider in my room. What should I do? Daddy, there's a roach. How do you kill it? Daddy, I can hear traffic from the street. How do I drown it out? Daddy, I smell smoke because of the fires in California. What should I do? That's me and Celine's conversation like every week.
Bro, that's what I have to look forward to. I got 2 daughters, man. And my oldest daughter, 8 years old, she's already grown, bro. Is this the age in which she's trying to be Miss Responsible, Miss Business, Miss I can cook everything? She's trying, bro. But you tell me that's what I have to look forward to.
Oh yeah, just wait till she gets older. And you know what you can't do?
Talk to me.
No matter how bad it is, you can't go, damn, are you kidding me? You got to just listen and say, okay, honey bun, here's how we're going to help you.
Hey, let's rock. Let's rock. Well, JB, that's all for what's trending.
Yeah, that's it for what's trending. I don't think we got time for mailbag because Smitty and the guys are here, and I know you guys got to record as well too.
That's all I was like, man. Let's definitely get to that video from T. Falston. We did covered a lot today. It was fired up. It was spirited. It was amped. And it was a good show, man. The chat family definitely went ham on the like button. I think as T-False requested, he said, leave it wet. I think they did that today, T-False.
Great. Don't short circuit your computer, though.
Hey, don't short circuit. Let's get that chest pass going, that dude, Justin.
Oh, my God.
Tried to get it.
Hey, we'll do it one more time.
All right, here we go. I can do it without that.
Hey, on point, man. Look out. Oh, my God. That's an assist to that dude, Justin. And you know what, man? This was a great show, chat family. Smash that like button. We'll see where we get, man, by the end of the breakdown. Good job today, that dude, Justin, filling in for our brother, the Veteran Squad Veteran Network, Flannel Sam. You brought the energy, especially that first Lion segment out the rip. You were pretty mad at Mr. Craig Carton. He doesn't believe in the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, kind of crazy. But that's, an hour and a half ago at this point. But it was a great show.
Hey, shout out to intern Ryan and the legend T. False holding it down on the couch. What up, though?
No, man. This is not Ryan. This is Joe Lewis.
Joe Lewis over there?
Back in the day.
Back in the day. Well, what up, though, man? Any last words for the people, T. False?
Hey, look, I'm having a blast. Good seeing you guys, and smash that like button.
Hey.
And let's do it wet. Let's lick that finger and do it.
All right, what up, though?
Gotta go back and rewind.
Yeah.
No, this was entertaining, eventful show. I think we did a great job. And we got 3 chip balls in the building, so fire up chips.
Fire up.
Right. Shout out to Steve Baffy. Y'all should get one of those mini hoop games like Dave and Buster's has and settle your disputes. Let the best sportsman win. We got to just get there. I've been saying it. I'm gonna get the crew there, man. Shout out to the sound booth.
Just found my Dave and Buster card, too.
What up, Don? We had Chase GPT in the building. What up,
Hey,
brother?
shout out, fire up. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Father's Day, happy Father's Day to my dad. Happy Father's Day to everybody else's dads as well. All the dads in the chat, shout out. And look forward to having a fun show coming back on Monday after a fun Tigers series win. Putting it out there early.
Looking forward to it. Shout out to interns, summertime in the building. And Spinny from the heavyweights. Woodward Sports MVP, JB Smooth in the TD booth. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's up? Shout out to Summer back here. Hey, what up, Summer? Yeah, they can see you. Summer right there. Everybody have a good weekend. Shout out to all the fathers once again. Like Chase said, happy Father's Day to everyone. Another episode of Woodward Ringside should be out this weekend as well too. You already got Fast and Loose. Keep an eye on Woodward Wings. They'll be out on Saturday as well too. And if you want some more JB, I got the No Chill podcast. Another episode coming out on Saturday as well. So just be on the lookout.
Hey, support my people. Support my people.
Question: anybody heading down to the ballpark this weekend?
I might actually. I'm really thinking about it. I will be at
I'm
Nemo's
there.
tonight.
I'm going there tonight.
Yeah, stop by Nemo's.
Oh yeah, I'm going to Nemo's.
It's a
Hey,
party
Spinny,
tonight.
seriously, man, you better get that fish and chips, bro. It's
Everybody
really
keeps talking about the burger.
No, the burger is great. They only serve fish and chips on Friday.
Shout out to Mike G, who says shout out to KG and Broders, still holding it down on the weekend content and still supporting the WUW Crew. And once again, that dude Justin, great show today. Any last words for the people?
Chase, Mike G wants to bet you that Michigan will cover against Central Michigan.
Happily.
Let's rock. We're going to revisit this for real. You know what? It's your boy
Point
Brandon.
spread's going to be like 50. What's it going to be?
I mean, we're going to get a minus number. We're going to have a big plus next to us, T-Foss.
All right,
We're
what,
going to
30,
win. So.
30 and a half?
Let's say 33 and a half.
They're going to give me the spread, but I'd take the money line. That's how much faith I have in CMU.
Damn.
Hey, they did beat them in basketball last time they played.
That's why people choose not to be as slappy. Because that's ridiculous.
I can't wait, man.
That is right. Who won between Central and Michigan in basketball last time?
CMU, Reggie Bass.
Yep. Fire up.
And one of the worst periods of Michigan basketball in the last 20 years.
Excuses.
Still won.
You lost
Your
the game.
one win over Michigan in 20 years is
Are you
noted.
a Western fan?
Hey, who's got the victory cannon trophy?
We got to record
other stuff.
We
Come
will
on.
revisit these happenings. But It's your boy Brandon, a.k.a. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential pistol reporter writer for the network. Hey, I didn't know there was so much passion, but I'm looking forward to it. We will get on these campuses. T-Falls, Cavassier,
we're gonna do that.
Justin. We're going to have to make this happen. And if y'all are looking for something else, before Big D Energy, because you got to tap in with Big D Energy, you got to tap in with Ermanni and Edwards and the heavyweights. We are going live on Woodward Pistons. More side content for you guys. So, Summer, T-Falls, myself, tap in. We will see you guys shortly. And most importantly, have a blessed day. Thank you guys for supporting Wake Up Woodward. Final Sam, we miss you, brother. And shout out again to our guys, Broder and KG. Hey, intern Noah.
Natties.
Fire up chips.